the Interstellar Mecha cook. Greetings, fellow multiversal adventurers. It's an honor to have you back in this saga that has us all hooked. Official channel statement: this story is 100% epic fiction, so please don't attempt real magic. The results aren't guaranteed and insurance won't cover it. The rights to this masterpiece belong entirely to its brilliant original author. We are just a barge sharing it with you. Do you want to keep being part of this amazing community? Join our ninja army of subscribers on YouTube and give this content a like. And for true fans, our Patreon has exclusive ninjutsu waiting for you. Chapter 76: Yin's harsh words. Ever since Jinhao's poaching incident, Lin Miaomiao rarely went to the school's virtual network. After all, while practicing their offered company, it wasn't as effective as playing a few matches at the Star Network Battle Center. The virtual network was primarily a popular destination for freshmen and sophomores, with juniors switching to the Star Network. After all, mecha warfare still primarily relies on firearms, and this was likely responsible for Lin Miaomiao and her two friends' ability to outnumber their opponents in the virtual network. As soon as get out of class was over, Liu Kai eagerly asked, "Miaomiao, there's a ring match at noon. It's against Zhu Chen. Should we go?" Zhu Chen actually agreed to fight. Lin Miaomiao was surprised. Private fights were forbidden, unless they were played online. Even winning a virtual fight wasn't satisfying, it lacked the thrill of revenge. So, the school had established a small ring where students could settle personal grudges under the witness of a teacher. The competition was a one-on-one match. If anyone attempted to resort to brutal force, the supervisor would not only intervene but also punish the perpetrator. In serious cases, the perpetrator could even be expelled and have their mecha pilot license revoked. Of course, some students, feeling highly capable, sought to prove themselves by challenging renowned masters within the school. Who issued the challenge? Fang Liqin was particularly concerned. "You wouldn't believe it," Liu Kai laughed. "The challenger is a sophomore. She's said to be incredibly talented and already a second-level mecha pilot." Fang Liqin was shocked. "Is that girl crazy? Zhu Chen is already a fourth-level mecha pilot. She's probably crazy for love," Lin Miaomiao said with a slight smile. Liu Kai and Fang Liqin remained silent. This was a compelling reason enough. As Zhu Chen's classmates and friends, Lin Miaomiao and the other two were determined to watch the match, even if they were hungry. Although they didn't think the competition was particularly exciting, they didn't think it was worth watching. The competition venue is located on the northernmost edge of the school, covering approximately 1,000 square meters. The arena was located in the center, a circular platform measuring approximately 100 square meters, surrounded by a stepped viewing area. Because it was a live fight, even with the school's protective measures, the arena was inevitably damaged after the fight. Therefore, challengers had to pay a considerable amount of credit points, and students who wanted to spectate also had to pay an entrance fee. Lin Miaomiao and the other two had come with their classmates. As the competition was about to begin, a long line formed at the entrance. "There are so many people," Liu Kai exclaimed. Looking at the long line, Lin Miaomiao flinched a little. "The sun is too strong. I'm afraid of heat stroke." Zhang Xingyan smiled and said, "You girls, go hide in the shade. We can just wait in line." "Really? Is that okay?" Liu Kai confirmed happily. "Of course," Zhang Xingyan assured her, patting his chest. "This is standard practice." "Didn't you see there were no girls in the line?" Lin Miaomiao then realized that the line was entirely male, while the girls waited in the shade. As was customary, the girls from Class 2A happily headed for the tree. However, upon reaching its shade, Lin Miaomiao spotted someone familiar, or perhaps even an enemy. After all, they were former classmates, so a classmate greeted her. "Jian, are you here to watch Zhu Chen's fight?" Jian wasn't exactly thrilled to see her former classmate, especially when she noticed Lin Miaomiao was there. Her expression darkened, and she simply ignored the person who greeted her. It was Zhu Pinting who took the initiative to greet her. She felt a little annoyed at being ignored, but then, thinking back to the grudge between Jian and Lin Miaomiao, she suppressed her anger. Lin Miaomiao's transformation had led to numerous conflicts between Zhu Pinting and Liu Kai. She didn't believe she was in any way responsible, instead blaming everything on Lin Miaomiao's provocations, and had been constantly giving Lin Miaomiao a hard time for the past 2 years. Unfortunately, none of Zhu Pinting's provocations bothered Lin Miaomiao. In the end, she was the one who suffered, with more and more classmates resenting her for stirring up trouble. Zhu Pinting vaguely heard that Ji Ziyan was looking for an opportunity to discipline Lin Miaomiao, so she also wanted to get involved, but she never found the chance. After all, we were classmates. Classmate Ji is too disrespectful, Zhu Pinting said as she approached with a smile. This time Ji Ziyan finally responded, I have nothing to do with you now, don't come and disturb me when you have nothing to do. What elite class, bah? The girl standing next to Ji Ziyan said with a sweet smile, Ziyan, you are so annoying, I am a girl after all, you should give me some face, they are girls. I think they are tomboys, Ji Ziyan sneered, look at that Lin Miaomiao, she keeps a cold face and pretends to be noble all day long. Lin Miaomiao, who was also shot while lying down, if you want to make trouble, just say it directly, I don't mind putting you in a sack. Glancing at the younger students around who were craning their necks to watch the gossip, Lin Miaomiao decided not to be too high profile and ignore a certain fly for the time being, so as not to set a bad example. Liu Kaoyer and Feng Liqin were unaware of Lin Miaomiao's sinister plot. Seeing their friend being insulted by name, they couldn't help but feel the pain. How funny. Someone who only stayed because of a man dares to mock others, without even considering their own worth, Liu Kaoyer said venomously. Feng Liqin added gently, you can't fake nobility. Ji Ziyan, you've been pretending for 3 or 4 years, and you haven't even managed to act like a fool. No wonder you're jealous of our Miaomiao. Ji Ziyan's face flushed with anger. Who the hell is she? How could I be jealous of her? She's our mecha department's goddess. Most of the girls in Class 4A laughed in unison. To the people in Class 4A, Lin Miaomiao was now just a cute little sister with a blank expression. Many girls couldn't envy her and were willing to defend her when things got tough. Of course, the self-absorbed Zhu Pinting was an exception. Outnumbered, Ji Ziyan decided to retreat first. We'll see. If she can still smile after a while, I'll consider her awesome. Not bothering to watch the ring match, Ji Ziyan stormed off with a few followers. She's just a snarky talker. I haven't seen any of her schemes succeed in the past 2 years, Liu Kaoyer said disdainfully. Not necessarily, Feng Liqin said worriedly. Graduation is coming soon. Ji Ziyan has been at a disadvantage these past 2 years. This semester is her last chance. Who knows how crazy she'll be. In the past 2 years, Ji Ziyan had tripped Lin Miaomiao up more than once. It was even more common for her to instigate her admirers or followers to cause trouble. Lin Miaomiao was very alert. She would avoid any obstacles she encountered and would politely refuse any challenges. With the support of her classmates and friends, she had never suffered any losses. Why worry so much? I guess she just wants to tamper with a military selection, Lin Miaomiao said unconcernedly. It all depends on how she plays her cards. Chapter 77 Arena Fight. After waiting for a quarter of an hour, the boys in the class finally reached the end of the line, and the girls quickly squeezed through. Sure enough, there wasn't any dissatisfaction, even the teacher selling tickets remained calm. They arrived too late, and the good seats were almost all taken, so everyone could only find seats higher up. It's really frustrating, Ji Ting said unhappily, pulling out a pair of binoculars. I'm really not used to wearing these things. That's right, it's a pity the seat isn't good. I can't see without them, Liu Kaoyer said sympathetically. It's good to have a seat. When we came in just now, there was a long line behind us. I'm afraid we'll have to stand and watch, Zhang Xingyan said with a smile. Lin Miaomiao thought to herself that perhaps a quarter of the students in the school had come to show their support. It seemed Zhu Chen was quite popular. The arena manager was a level 5 mecha master named Zhang Jia. Perhaps because it was rare to see such a high popularity in a student challenge, Zhang Jia seemed very excited and even said a few more words at the start of the match. Zhang Jia, beaming, stood in the center of the arena and declared, "It seems the 2 students joining us today are both renowned figures. The audience seats are packed with spectators. I believe today's match will be a rare and classic one. I hope both students prioritize friendship." The audience booed. A second-level mecha master challenging a fourth-level master was simply courting abuse, wasn't it? And what classic match? Thankfully, Zhang Jia realized his mistake and quickly got to the point. Now, please welcome our senior mecha department head, Zhu Chen, and our sophomore mecha department goddess, Liu Mengji. As Zhang Jia finished speaking, 2 mechas, one white and one red, descended from the sky, landing steadily on either side of the arena. The red mecha was quite flamboyant. extending its focused energy rifle upon landing, its muzzle pointed directly at the white mecha. The white mecha remained motionless, its blue light flickering constantly, clearly demonstrating its readiness. Zhu Chen, let's see today who's more powerful, your Bai K or my Zhu Ji, a voice chided from the red mech. The audience erupted in laughter, and the students in Class 4A of the Mecha department covered their faces. It was all because of that idiot Zhu Zixin, jealous that Zhu Chen's mech was superior to his, so shameless as to name such an elegant mech Bai K. Surprisingly, the usually gentle Zhu Chen was exceptionally assertive today. Liu Mengji, remember your words, if you lose, you're right, take a detour. Zhu Chen's words were vague, intentionally glossing over a certain name, but Lin Miaomiao and the others understood. Everyone understood now, Zhu Chen was eliminating his rival. The battle was imminent, and Zhang Jia didn't have time to evacuate before the two mechas launched their attack. He had no choice but to deploy his own mech, then awkwardly entered it and fled into the air. You don't know how to control yourself. What are you trying to do with these few seconds? Zhang Jia roared over the loudspeaker. If you hurt me, I'll give you a serious warning. Zhang Jia's indignation was destined to go unanswered. By then, Bai K and Zhu Ji were already locked in a fierce battle, and they had no time to pay attention to anyone else. Liu Mengji's attack was ruthless. She launched a three-shot burst of powerful energy lances, each one aimed directly at Bai K's cockpit, with no intention of stopping. A mech pilot of the same rank would have been severely injured or even crippled by this blow. Unfortunately, her opponent was Zhu Chen. The moment Liu Mengji attacked, he had already commanded his mech to roll behind Zhu Ji, dodging the blow and severing Zhu Ji's left arm, which held the energy lance, with his alloy blade. Wow, Zhu Chen's attack is sharp. Liu Kao's eyes lit up. A commotion erupted from the audience below. Zhu Chen is so shameless. He didn't even hold back against a level 2 mecha master, crippling Blood Princess's arm with a single strike. If he had any dignity, he wouldn't have accepted Liu's challenge. The students who spoke up for Liu Mengji were all male, needless to say, all of them were her admirers. These people are really trying to distort right and wrong, a classmate said indignantly. Liu Mengji clearly fought with all her might. How could we not disarm her? Who cares? They're just a bunch of bastards, Yu Zixin said dismissively. Lin Miaomiao turned back in surprise. Yu Zixin, when did you come? Didn't you say you didn't want to watch? Before they came, they had asked Yu Zixin if he wanted to come, but he had arrogantly declined. Yu Zixin's handsome face flushed. You suddenly wanted to come again. Is that not okay? Well, that was her freedom. Lin Miaomiao could only turn back to watch the match. After just a few words, the scene on the ring was completely different. Liu Mengji's mech had become tattered, both arms violently removed, a large dent in the cabin, and a flattened top, not to mention the numerous cracks on the fuselage. Liu Mengji had lost her initial arrogance, commanding the mech to dodge continuously, circling up and down the empty ring, yet refusing to admit defeat. Due to the rules of the ring match, Zhu Chen couldn't resort to any more brutal force. He could only chase after Zhu Ji with some restraint, occasionally slashing at her with a light blow. It was so boring. Lin Miaomiao yawned, covering her mouth with her hand. Wasn't Liu Mengji always good at saying tough things? Why was she so hesitant when it came to admitting defeat? The audience erupted in excitement, everyone speculating whether Liu Mengji was refusing to concede and attempting to force a draw. After all, the tournament was supposed to be completed within half an hour. If the two weren't evenly matched, the fight could easily last for hours, provided they had sufficient energy. However, Zhu Chen clearly refused to accept a draw. Seeing Liu Mengji's reluctance to concede, he grew exasperated and attacked again, locking onto Zhu Ji's legs. Instead of attacking with his alloy blade, he unleashed a small energy cannon. With a resounding boom, Zhu Ji's metal lower limbs were shattered. Fortunately, Zhu Chen's aim was accurate, and he used the least powerful energy cannon, preventing the mecha's safety from being compromised. With the loss of both legs, Zhu Ji's metropod crashed to the ground, motionless. Zhu Chen directed Bai K to land not far from Zhu Ji, turned on the loudspeaker, and said in a deep voice, Liu Mengji, you still refuse to admit defeat. 1 second, 2 seconds, several minutes passed, and Liu Mengji didn't answer. Zhu Chen couldn't help but frown. Even if Liu Mengji didn't agree to admit defeat, she shouldn't be so quiet. Teacher Zhang. Something's wrong with her. I request to terminate the competition, Zhu Chen shouted to Zhang Jia, who was holding the line in the air. Zhang Jia was also afraid of something going wrong, so he hurriedly announced the result of the competition. Sophomore Mecha Department Liu Mengji challenged Senior Mecha Department Zhu Chen, and the challenge failed. After announcing the result, Zhang Jia hurriedly controlled the mecha to land next to Liu Mengji, preparing to pry open Zhu Ji's mecha cabin. Chapter 78 Farce. The ring matches were over, and the protective layer between the audience seats and the ring was closed. People who were close to Liu Mengji and Zhu Chen all ran to the ring. Lin Miaomiao and others were worried about Zhu Chen, so they also rushed to the ring. However, it was quite chaotic at this time, and they were quite far away from the ring. They squeezed for a long time but couldn't get close to the ring. I really want to release the mecha and fly up, Liu Kaoyu couldn't help complaining. Come on, if you release the mecha now, you will crush a bunch of people to death, Shi Aokian complained while protecting her. You will die if you don't complain. Are you in our class after all? Liu Kaoyu couldn't help stamping her feet. Oh, Kaoyu, can you be quiet? You stepped on me. Fang Licken was very depressed. She felt that she shouldn't be so close to Liu Kaoyu. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. Liu Kaoyu apologized quickly, but then pouted. It's all your fault for being so greedy. Shi Aokian was furious. How is it my fault again? If I weren't in the same class as you, I would definitely stay away from you. Who told you to stick around us? Lin Miaomiao grumbled inwardly. During the fight, several people squeezed onto the ring. By then, Liu Mengji had been rescued from the mecha cabin by Zhu Chen and Zhang Jia. She was lying flat on the ring, and several young men were anxiously surrounding her. Yu Zixin rushed over to Zhu Chen and anxiously asked, "What's wrong? Have you notified the infirmary?" Zhu Chen's face remained unmoved. "Are you so concerned about this woman?" Yu Zixin was stunned, then furious. "It's already this late, and you're still obsessed with jealousy. What if something really happens to her?" Yu Zixin's words alerted the people surrounding Liu Mengji, and one immediately rushed towards Zhu Chen, grabbing him by the collar without hesitation, but Zhu Chen dodged. "How dare you hide?" The man gritted his teeth. "Zhu Chen, if anything happens to Mengji today, I'll have you," someone else chimed in. "That's right. If Mengji gets hurt, you won't have it easy either." "Ji Kemi, you're crazy," Yu Zixin exclaimed in disbelief. "Even if Liu Mengji gets hurt, it's her own fault. She should have just admitted defeat earlier." Clearly, Zhu Chen had nothing to do with it, yet these people were still accusing her of something. Yu Zixin glanced at Liu Mengji lying on the ground, feeling a strange irritation. He had thought her a cheerful girl, but he hadn't expected her to be so paranoid. She was truly two-faced. Lin Miaomiao, who had finally squeezed in, was also observing Liu Mengji. She felt something was odd about her unconsciousness. Even though she was unconscious, her eyes moved slightly. After observing her carefully for a while, Lin Miaomiao finally confirmed that Liu Mengji was feigning unconsciousness. Was she pretending to be unconscious because she didn't want to admit defeat, or was she trying to evade her fate? Probably because once she was unconscious, she'd lost her fighting ability, a sure sign of defeat. Liu Mengji's admirers were so eager to settle their scores with Zhu Chen that they momentarily neglected their beloved lying on the ground. Lin Miaomiao quietly approached, determined to expose Liu Mengji's ruse before the infirmary could send a cart to retrieve her. As a straightforward person, Lin Miaomiao favored simple yet effective methods. And exposing Liu Mengji was a piece of cake. "Hey, wake up. Your admirer is about to attack." Lin Miaomiao half-crouched, gently patting Liu Mengji's face. Her right foot, seemingly inadvertently, stepped on her finger, rubbing it vigorously. Despite Liu Mengji's endurance, the sudden pain overwhelmed her. "Ah," Lin Miaomiao said with a sullen face. "It'll be alright once you wake up." Upon hearing that the beauty had awakened, her admirers immediately surrounded her, offering their regards. "Go away," Liu Mengji scolded harshly after the pain subsided. "You're a bunch of useless people. You're good at talking, but you're no help when you're needed." It turned out that Liu Mengji had been feigning unconsciousness. She knew she couldn't win when she challenged Zhu Chen, but she didn't care. She simply wanted to use this match to discredit Zhu Chen's character and encourage Yu Zixin to distance himself from him. The fact that the admirers were seeking justice was also Liu Mengji's plan. After losing, she had to save some face, right? Unfortunately, Liu Mengji's best plans didn't yield the desired outcome. First, she suffered a crushing defeat in the ring match. Then, upon seeing her unconscious, Yu Zixin didn't distance himself from Zhu Chen, but instead sided firmly with him. Finally, Her admirer's quest for justice was unsuccessful. How could she regain some ground? Liu Mengji glanced at Lin Miaomiao, standing not far away. Her expressionless face was striking. It was that person who had ruined her plan and exposed her feigned unconsciousness. Senior Lin, Liu Mengji looked at Lin Miaomiao with tears in her eyes. Why did you step on me? Lin Miaomiao asked, puzzled. Step on you? No, she was no fool, she could do something like that without admitting it. Liu Mengji was furious. It seemed these people were determined to side with Zhu Chen. Even Yu Zixin ignored her, leaving Liu Mengji feeling mortified. The infirmary's flying car flew over, flashing a rainbow of light, and the people on the ring voluntarily made room. The school doctor emerged from the car, carrying a small instrument, followed by two nurses carrying a soft stretcher. Seeing Liu Mengji awake, the doctor frowned. Did they say the patient was unconscious? I think she's in good spirits. School doctors at the military academy are incredibly busy. They're constantly called out for the slightest scrape or injury, and they don't have the time. Seeing Liu Mengji still have the energy to glare and throw a tantrum, the doctor grew impatient and pulled Zhang Jia to explain. Poor Zhang Jia, who had never encountered such a situation before, could only mumble and explain that Liu Mengji had indeed fainted and had simply woken up on her own. The doctor, somewhat skeptical, accepted the explanation. He then took a small medical device and gave Liu Mengji a quick full-body scan, concluding that she was in good health despite a slight mental overload. Excessive mental exertion was normal after a fight, and no one thought anything was amiss. After giving the diagnosis, the doctor left unhappily. It is not a pleasant thing to make a wasted trip. There are many people waiting to see a doctor in the infirmary. Those students who go out on missions will always suffer some minor injuries. After the doctor's conclusion came out, Liu Mengji's admirers could no longer bother Zhu Chen. Yu Zixin arrogantly dragged Zhu Chen to leave. However, Zhu Chen refused to leave immediately. Instead, he looked at Liu Mengji and said, "Remember what you said. Stay away from him in the future." Liu Mengji gritted her teeth. She didn't like Yu Zixin so much now, but she felt embarrassed to be forced to stay away from Yu Zixin. However, Yu Zixin didn't understand this and yelled directly, "Zhu Chen, you are so nosy. There is no need for you to be so nosy. I will take a detour when I see her in the future." Chapter 79. A small task. A few days passed after the competition, and Yu Zixin and Zhu Chen had reconciled, though Yu Zixin still had no intention of accepting Zhu Chen. The time for the various armies to select graduates drew near, and teachers from various departments announced the suspension of classes. With everyone having more free time without classes, someone suggested taking on a small mission to avoid training and waiting at school. Since the class was large, it was impossible for everyone to rush to the same mission, so Lin Miaomiao went to the mission hall with Liu Gaoyer and a few of her closest friends. Liu Gaoyer stared at the mission board. What mission should we do? Deliver a letter or a delivery? Forget about delivering letters or deliveries. Those are just tests set up by the teachers. They don't require much skill. Let's take the mission to the forest of exotic beasts, Yu Zixin suggested. Okay, everyone nodded. They went to look at the missions for the forest of exotic beasts, finding that most of them were about finding medicinal herbs or purchasing exotic beast meat. After searching for a long time, they finally found something interesting. A missing person mission. Liu Mengji, a sophomore student in the card-making department, made a bet 2 days ago to enter the forest of exotic beasts alone. He's now missing. Anyone who can find him and bring him back will be generously rewarded, Lin Miaomiao said expressionlessly. School doesn't care about things like this. They're just issuing missions. Zhu Chen didn't find it strange. The forest of exotic beasts is so vast, even if all the teachers went, they probably wouldn't be able to find him for a while. It's better to mobilize the students to search together. Since he's a junior, you have to accept this mission even if there's no reward, Yu Zixin said. I guess you'll have to ask the teachers for a photo or something. Hurry up and go, Lin Miaomiao and the other two girls said in unison. Yu Zixin rubbed his nose, slightly annoyed. Why don't you let Zhu Chen or Xiaoqian go? You're just bullying me. Despite his dissatisfaction, Yu Zixin obediently went to accept the mission. Upon his return, Yu Zixin shared the mission list with everyone. In addition to the missing person mission, he also accepted several missions to find wild herbs and exotic beast meat. Lin Miaomiao texted Lin Jingtao and the twins to inform them of her departure, then set off with the others. The Forest of Strange Beasts is located at the northernmost tip of the planet Miaomiao, where a series of ancient mountain ranges stretch. The Forest of Strange Beasts serves as the entrance to these mountains. Miaomiao has built a tall, sturdy alloy wall not far from the Forest of Strange Beasts, and guards are stationed there at all times to prevent any invasion by strange beasts. After turning 18, Lin Miaomiao eagerly obtained her driver's license, so now she doesn't need a lolly to drive her on long trips. Lin Miaomiao's flying car is large and comfortable, so Liu Cao and the others simply skipped their own and piled in. With the seatbacks folded down, the 7 of them felt comfortable. It was already noon when they arrived at the Forest of Strange Beasts. They had lunch at the edge before officially setting off. After exiting the wall, they continued their journey towards the center of the forest, where most of the missions they had taken on would require them to be completed. Since it wasn't their first time in the Forest of Exotic Beasts, everyone was familiar with it. They avoided some low-level exotic beasts that didn't require hunting and entered the central area without any problems. Uzixin had accepted 10 missions in total. Besides the search mission, 6 of the remaining 9 involved hunting exotic beasts, and only 4 involved collecting medicinal herbs and plants. 3 hours later, everyone had successfully completed 8 missions, leaving only the quest for collecting the source mushroom and the search for the missing person unfinished. In fact, no one had high hopes for the search mission. After all, the missing students had no fighting ability and had been in the Forest of Exotic Beasts for 2 days. There was no chance of survival. Even Lin Miaomiao and the other 7, despite being able to enjoy themselves during the day, had to return to the city at night because the forest was even more dangerous. We have only 1 hour left to return. I don't know if we can find it today, Uzixin said listlessly. After an afternoon of tedious tasks, his enthusiasm had been completely dampened. Why was this damn source mushroom so hard to find? Xiaoqian was also very depressed. I clearly saw a lot of Yuanzi in this area last time. Who is so ruthless to clear them all? Aren't they afraid that Yuanzi will become extinct in the future? When was the last time? Lin Miaomiao asked doubtfully. It was half a year ago, Xiaoqian replied. Everyone frowned. It was such a long time ago, and they still had the nerve to bring it up? Lin Miaomiao exited the team channel and said dejectedly, Aoksu, scan the area again. Aoksu's electronic eyes flashed quickly and began to scan the nearby species. 10 minutes later, Aoksu reported sweetly, no Yuanzi found. There are low-level mutant beasts such as leaf monkeys and small civets nearby. Lin Miaomiao sighed. Yuanzi is becoming more and more difficult to find. It may really be extinct, as Xiaoqian said. Just as they were feeling depressed, Aoksu suddenly spoke again. Master Miaomiao, there's an unidentified person approaching up ahead. The Forest of Exotic Beasts was bustling with people, so approaching was commonplace. Lin Miaomiao didn't take it too seriously, but she still checked the team chat to alert those happily chatting. Aoksu said someone's coming. Liu Cao was delighted. Where is he? We can exchange intel. Why are you so excited? Uzixin couldn't help but grumble. Aren't you afraid they're robbers? Soon, a thin figure appeared ahead, startling everyone. Hiking in the Forest of Exotic Beasts, this person was either incredibly skilled or simply desperate for their lives. It wasn't clear which category they were in. The answer was soon revealed, as the thin figure was running at full speed, a pack of civet cats in hot pursuit. Turns out he's an idiot, Uzixin sighed. Should we save him? Feng Licken asked. Xiaoqian immediately laughed at him. You are talking nonsense. As a student of the First Military Academy of Miaomiao, how can you stand by and watch someone die? Feng Licken was furious. Get as far away from me as you can if you want money. During the quarrel, the man was caught up by the group of small civets. Seeing this, Lin Miaomiao quickly ordered Aoksu to go forward to save him. Small civets are small exotic beasts with agile movements and sharp teeth and claws containing poison. Judging from the claw marks on the man's body and his pale face, he must have suffered a lot. Such low-level exotic beasts pose no threat to mecha operators. Only those who have no skills and cannot drive mechas, and have to come to the Forest of Exotic Beasts to hunt exotic beasts for a living, will be persecuted by them. After easily repelling the group of small civets, Lin Miaomiao found that the thin man had already fainted, so she called out to Xiaoqian, who was still bickering, come and save him quickly. Chapter 80 Rescue. Xiaoqian heard the call and said hurriedly, I'll be right there, Miaomiao, don't worry. He didn't bother to argue with Feng Licken anymore, and ran to Lin Miaomiao and got off the mecha. Everyone gathered around, and except for Lin Miaomiao, they all got off the mecha curiously to watch the injured person. Tisk tisk, look at the claw marks all over his face, he's definitely going to be disfigured, Yu Zixin said gloatingly, walking around the man with his hands behind his back. Liu Kaoyu curled her lips and said, people go into the forest in groups and are physically strong. He's not a mecha master, and he dares to come here to die with such a frail body. Lin Miaomiao looked at the dusty and scarred man on the ground and couldn't help asking, hasn't you thought of a possibility? What possibility? Everyone looked up at Aox obliquely. Lin Miaomiao was speechless. Did anyone remember our mission to find him? Everyone suddenly realized something, but no one agreed with Lin Miaomiao's speculation. Lu Mingji's been in the beast forest for days. Even if he's still alive, he's probably missing limbs. How could he be lying here in one piece? Everyone's arguments made such a sense that Lin Miaomiao couldn't argue. Okay, he's not going to die for now. Xiaoqian put away the small healing device. We have to go back early. If we delay too long, the poison in this man will kill him. The small healing device was a life-saving device, but it could only stop the bleeding and form a scab on the wound. It wouldn't do much to detoxify it. Liu Kaoyu pouted unhappily. I still have one mission to complete. I have to come in again tomorrow. Despite her complaints, Liu Kaoyu felt that human life was more important, so she obediently boarded the mech and left. After returning to the city, everyone took the rescued man to the hospital and kindly paid for the medical expenses, planning to leave only when the man woke up. Unexpectedly, the moment the man opened his eyes and saw Lin Miaomiao and the others, he burst into tears. Senior Zhu Chen, Senior Lin Miaomiao, this is great. I finally made it out of that damn forest. Everyone, this guy turned out to be their junior. Could it be that they really had a sudden burst of goodness and saved Lu Mingji, who had been missing for a few days? Junior, what's your name? Zhu Chen, the friendly guy, appeared. The sobbing man replied, my name is Lu Mingji, and I'm a sophomore in the card-making department. Oh my god, Yu Zixin couldn't help but say, you're such an idiot. Lu Mingji was so scared that he forgot to cry. He huddled in his bed in fear, staring at Yu Zixin, somewhat confused as to why this man was so fierce. Zhu Chen hurriedly blocked Yu Zixin's way and said with a hint of reproach, Junior Lu escaped death, don't scare him again. Yu Zixin was furious. Zhu Chen, what do you mean? How did I scare him? He was clearly seeking death, so he deserved to be scared. Zhu Chen frowned. He didn't understand what was going on with Yu Zixin. Looking at Lu Mingji, who was huddled up in fear, Zhu Chen said with some displeasure, Zin, stop being unreasonable. Being unreasonable? Yu Zixin looked at Zhu Chen in a daze. Why would Zhu Chen say that to him, and for an outsider? Liu Kaoyu and others who were standing aside watching the excitement noticed that the atmosphere was a little strange, and hurried out to smooth things over. Okay. The most important thing now is to inform the school that the person has been found. Did they say that there are teachers looking for him in the forest? Zixin, go and send a communication to Teacher Jin. Yu Zixin snorted coldly, what's it to me? Zhu Chen is so nervous about this person, so let him go and notify him. I still have to find a place to rest. After that, Yu Zixin turned around and walked out, actually planning to act alone. Liu Kaoyu was dumbfounded. What's wrong with Yu Zixin? Did he take the wrong medicine? Lin Miaomiao said with a paralyzed face. He didn't take the wrong medicine. He probably drank too much vinegar, he said to Zhu Chen, who was frightened by Yu Zixin's behavior. Why are you standing there like an idiot? Go chase him quickly, or you won't be able to find him soon. Zhu Chen, who was reminded, hurriedly chased after him, and everyone's faces suddenly became weird. Liu Kaoyu and Fen Lick inside. It seems that Yu Zixin is finally coming to his senses. Zhang Xingyan was envious. It's great to find someone you like at such a young age. Xiaoqian rubbed against Lin Miaomiao. Miaomiao, we are about to graduate from our senior year. It will be too late if we don't have a relationship. Get out of the way. Lin Miaomiao rolled her eyes at Xiaoqian. Whether you have a relationship or not has nothing to do with me. Why doesn't it matter? Xiaoqian was so depressed that he wanted to vomit blood. I have confessed to you so many times, and you are still indifferent. Liu Kaoyu pushed Xiaoqian away. Go away now. Don't be a toad wanting to eat swan meat. In the chaos, Lu Mingji said weakly, Seniors, when can I be discharged from the hospital? Everyone froze in an instant, and they actually forgot about the business. So they all cast their fiery eyes on Lu Mingji, not knowing what the school's generous reward was. In the end, Lin Miaomiao sent a text message to Jin Hao, asking him to notify the mission hall that the mission was complete and to cancel the search. Jin Hao quickly hung up the video call and asked, "Have you all completed your missions? There's still one left," Lin Miaomiao replied. They probably wouldn't have another chance to do a mission like this, so everyone was trying to complete all the tasks and put a perfect end to this mission. Jin Hao pondered for a moment and said, "Forget about one mission. Just send the person back tonight." "Is that okay? Why are you in such a hurry?" Liu Kaoyer asked in surprise. Jin Hao rubbed his forehead. "You left early this morning, so naturally you didn't know." His family came to school and made a scene after hearing the news, saying the school treated human life with disrespect, for sending students from the card-making department to such a dangerous place. Liu Kaoyer glanced at Lu Mingji, who was curled up on the bed, speechless. Such a cowardly person's parents were making such a fuss. "But, we've found him, so why not just tell them the news? It's not that simple. His grandmother doesn't believe us and insists on seeing him in person," Jin Hao said helplessly, spreading his hands. "Anyway, you should hurry back." After hanging up the phone, everyone decided to return to school immediately. Shi Aoqian went to complete the discharge procedures, while Lin Miaomiao texted Zhu Chen to inquire about the situation. Zhu Chen replied, telling them to leave first. Lin Miaomiao wasn't surprised. She told everyone to take Lu Mingji and prepare to return. Because it was night, they didn't dare drive at full speed, so the return trip took half an hour longer than the trip. It was past midnight when Lin Miaomiao arrived at the school gate. From a distance, she could see a group of people guarding the gate, including Jin Hao. As the car stopped, an elderly-looking couple rushed over. The old woman cried and yelled, "Mingji, my dear grandson, how are you?" Lu Mingji, who had been very quiet until then, also got out of the car eagerly, hugged the old woman, and cried, "I'm sorry, Grandma, Mingji was wrong." Chapter 81 Martyrs Orphans. Lu Mingji and the old woman burst into tears and couldn't stop, but the old man just wiped his tears for a while and turned to thank Feng Dongqing, the leader. Perhaps because of his excitement, the old man seemed a little incoherent. Feng Dongqing didn't care, he just smiled and said to the old man, "Although classmate Lu came back safely, he must be very tired. It's late at night. I will take you to the school guest house to rest for a night. We can talk about it tomorrow if there is anything." The old man hurriedly declined. "I have troubled you enough. We can go to the guest house by ourselves, no trouble." Feng Dongqing enthusiastically took out a flying car and asked the family of 3 to get in. After the principal's flying car left, Jin Hao stretched and said, "Everyone, let's go." So the teachers present were ready to go home. Lin Miaomiao, who was confused, pulled Jin Hao unhappily. "What are you doing?" Jin Hao tried to break free from Lin Miaomiao's clutches. "It's so late, time for bed," Lin Miaomiao said expressionlessly. "Teacher Jin, don't you think you should explain?" They'd endured hunger and exhaustion to get Lu Mingji back quickly, and now they still didn't know what was going on. What a shame. Convinced they couldn't break free, Jin Hao didn't bother trying anymore. With a hint of resignation, he said, "Just be happy you completed the mission. Why bother with all this?" Lin Miaomiao simply tugged at his arm in silence. While she was happy to have completed the mission, she was also frustrated that she couldn't figure out what was going on. "Alright, let go first. I'll tell you." Jin Hao finally gave in, as 5 pairs of curious eyes stared at him. With her goal achieved, Lin Miaomiao cooperated and let go, but she still stared at Jin Hao with wide eyes, as if afraid he'd take the opportunity to escape. Fortunately, Jin Hao kept his word and explained the whole story clearly. It turns out that Lu Mingji's parents were both soldiers, but both died in the last war between the Federation and the Empire, trapped forever on the border star system. Lu Mingji became an orphan. Old Mrs. Lu, fearing she would be overwhelmed by too many children, chose only one. Unexpectedly, their son and daughter-in-law died in battle on the border star system at such a young age, leaving behind their newborn grandson. The old lady and old man, swallowing their grief, raised their grandson, but never again willing him to become a mecha pilot. From a young age, they kept him close to their side, depriving him of physical training and focusing solely on mental strength. After graduating from high school, Lu Mingji entered the card-making department, a relief for the old family. Raised by his grandparents, Lu Mingji was somewhat introverted and timid, often teased by his surly classmates at school. He didn't dare tell his grandparents, so he endured the taunts. However, Everyone has a weak spot, and Lu Mingji's was no exception. His weak spot was his parents, who had died on the border star system. So when his classmates mocked him for being timid and incompetent and for his parents being cowards, Lu Mingji erupted. Lu Mingji got into a vicious fight with a man who had mocked him, leaving him with a black eye. The man, enraged, yelled, "What's the point of just beating up classmates? If you're brave enough, go to the forest of exotic beasts and fight the beasts. Otherwise, you're a coward. And your parents are cowards." Everyone knew what happened next, even Jin Hao didn't need to explain. Lu Mingji made a bet with a classmate. If he could stay in the forest of exotic beasts for 2 days and come out alive, the classmate would have to apologize to his parents. The students present at the time simply assumed Lu Mingji was just angry, but they had no idea he'd actually gone to the forest of exotic beasts. When the teacher called a roll during class and realized Lu Mingji was gone, they couldn't contact him anymore. Jin Hao's face wasn't looking good. Now that everything's clear, go back to bed. Lin Miaomiao and the others glanced at each other, then slowly said, "There's still one thing we're not sure about. We can rest assured only after Teacher Jin has finished explaining it." Jin Hao was speechless. What's still unclear? This time, it was Zhang Xingyun who spoke up. "Which bastard made a bet with Lu Mingji? I can't get over this unless I beat him up." Lin Miaomiao and the others nodded in agreement. Well, Jin Hao was a little conflicted. Initially, he'd wanted to throw a punch, but he was the teacher after all, and getting physical wouldn't be a good thing. Everyone present was no fool, and they understood Jin Hao's dilemma. Liu Kaoyer smiled and said, "Don't worry, Teacher Jin. We'll be careful with our actions. The main thing is that person is so abominable, we have to teach him a lesson." Fang Lican even said, "If Teacher Jin doesn't want to tell us, then we can go to Lu Mingji's class tomorrow and ask someone." Jin Hao thought about it. While the boy was indeed hated, his family background was strong. Lu Mingji was just an ordinary student, and he had returned safely. The school would probably only give him a serious warning and ask him to pay for his medical expenses. Since the people in front of him all came from well-off families, there was no need to worry about retaliation from the other parents if they punished him. After all, it was just a child's play. Thinking of this, Jin Hao evasively said, "I heard that there's a member of the main branch of the Ji family in their class." Lin Miaomiao understood. So it's him. Knowing who, it was made easier, and no one tried to stop Jin Hao from returning to rest. Shi Aoqian immediately said to Lin Miaomiao, "When are we going to teach that kid a lesson?" Looking at the others, they also looked eager to try. Lin Miaomiao was a little amused and could only pour a basin of cold water on them with an expressionless face. "It's so late, I'm afraid you won't be able to stop him, everyone." Seeing everyone's dejected look, Lin Miaomiao wanted to laugh, but still said with a stern face, "We have to get a copy of his class schedule first, and we have to find out where he lives. If we are free recently, we can play slowly. I know, the kid also lives outside the school, not far from where I live," Shi Aoqian said proudly. Zhang Xingyun said, "I'll ask someone about his schedule. Let's all go to bed," Lin Miaomiao said, feeling a little tired. "We'll discuss when to start once we've checked the schedule." Liu Kaoyer, however, was reluctant. "The cafeteria is closed, and I'm still hungry. How about Lican and I stay at your house for a night?" Lin Miaomiao was speechless. Everyone had some dry food with them, so they could have a meal even if the cafeteria was closed. Kaoyer's words clearly meant she wanted her to cook. It was so late. Could she just get some rest? Just as she was about to find an excuse to refuse, Shi Aoqian and Zhang Xingyun said, "We're hungry too. Miaomiao, you won't be reluctant to give up this meal, will you?" Facing 4 pairs of wolf-like eyes, what else could Lin Miaomiao say? She could only feel depressed about her choice of friends. After her cooking skills were exposed, this group of people often forced her to cook under the pretext of gatherings, and even a gentle gentleman like Zhu Chen was no exception. "Okay, just go ahead. It's so late and you guys still don't know how to keep quiet," Lin Miaomiao said as she got on the speed car by herself. She really didn't want to bother with this group of bad friends. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 82: Lu Mingji's Persistence. Having accidentally completed the missing person mission, everyone was thrilled for a few days, marveling at their luck. While everyone despised a certain G kid and was still plotting to teach him a lesson, they hadn't expected to cross paths with Lu Mingji again. After all, they weren't close. A few days after the incident, Jin Hao notified everyone to go to the mission hall to claim their rewards. Lin Miaomiao went out of curiosity, unsure what the school would offer. Upon arriving, Liu Kaoyer and the others were already gathered at the entrance. Upon seeing Lin Miaomiao, they offered a dismissive look. "You're so slow, we've been waiting for you for 10 minutes. Lin Miaomiao rolled her eyes, then resumed her expressionless face, saying, "Teacher Jin said 9 o'clock sharp, it was only 8:50 now." Was she too slow, or were they too impatient? Everyone was speechless and could only wait for Teacher Jin to arrive. Originally, Jin Hao had nothing to do with the incident. Lu Mingji wasn't his student, and he wasn't a school leader. But because the person who saved Lu Mingji was in his class, Jin Hao was treated as an errand boy by the principal. When Jin Hao came over and saw the 7 people standing together, he felt a surge of pride, but he cursed, "What a bunch of troublemakers, always causing me trouble." Yu Zixin grinned, "Teacher Jin, that's wrong. I'm clearly doing you honor." Jin Hao didn't deny that. Just as he was about to invite them into the mission hall to talk, someone else arrived. The newcomer bowed and saluted, "Teacher Jin, hello, seniors. I'm here to thank you all for saving my life." Only when the newcomer raised his head did Lin Miaomiao get a clear look at him. Short black hair, big eyes, a small, tightly pursed mouth, and a thin figure. Jin Hao smiled. "Lu Mingji, are you feeling better?" It was Lu Mingji. He had been staying in the school guest house with his grandparents for the past few days. After sending them home yesterday, he heard that the school would be giving out rewards to those who saved his life, so he ran to the mission building early to wait. Hearing Jin Hao's question, Lu Mingji nodded gratefully and said, "I'm fine now, thanks to the seniors who sent me to the hospital in time that day." Yu Zixin waved his hand, "That's what we should do, don't take it too seriously. No, you saved me, I will definitely repay you in the future," Lu Mingji said stubbornly, "and the medical expenses for that day, I will pay you back in a few days." The medical expenses were paid by Xiaoqian, which was just a few days' pocket money for him, so he didn't care. Seeing Lu Mingji's thin appearance, his family conditions should not be very good, so he wanted to refuse. Lin Miaomiao spoke first, "There's no rush for the medical bills. Let's talk about it once you can sell the energy cards you make," Lu Mingji hurriedly said. "I already know how to make level 2 energy cards." Liu Kaoyer pouted, "How many credit points are level 2 energy cards worth?" Lu Mingji was immediately embarrassed. There were so many low-level card makers these days, and energy cards below level 4 were worthless. He'd been using his finished level 2 energy cards to buy the materials for making the cards, and after paying off his debt, he might not even have enough credit points left to buy the materials. Even so, Lu Mingji insisted on paying off his debt. Paying back a debt was a matter of course. And he didn't want to tarnish his parents' reputation. "I'll definitely pay it off in a few days," Lu Mingji promised uncomfortably, pinching his sleeve. Lin Miaomiao nodded, "When the time comes, just contact Xiaoqian directly." At his number, "Okay," Lu Mingji said, relieved. He eagerly added Xiaoqian's number before politely taking his leave. After Lu Mingji left, Liu Kaoyer looked at Lin Miaomiao with a strange look. She couldn't understand when her friend had become so stingy. Liu Kaoyer, impatient, asked directly when she didn't understand something. "Miaomiao, what are you doing? His family isn't well off, and Xiaoqian doesn't need that little bit of medical money." Xiaoqian nodded in agreement. Although he had a good impression of Lin Miaomiao, he also thought her actions were wrong. "Idiot," Lin Miaomiao said, not bothering to explain. She turned to Jin Hao, "Teacher, let's go in." Jin Hao nodded and led the way to the mission hall. Liu Kaoyer and Xiaoqian could only suppress their confusion and follow behind. The missing person missions were issued by the school in the mission hall, so the rewards had to be handed out in the presence of the mission hall. Milulan First Military Academy was wealthy, and the mission rewards were generous, with each person receiving 5 level 4 energy cards and 2,000 points, much to everyone's delight. Jin Hao left after distributing the rewards, but Lin Miaomiao and the others were not in a hurry to leave. Points can be exchanged for things in the mission hall, and with so many points this time, they can also exchange for some good things. Everyone looked through the points exchange system, and each of them exchanged for a lot of things, but something seemed a little strange about what Lin Miaomiao exchanged for. He actually exchanged for a lot of blank level 3 cards. Liu Kaier, who had just been called a fool, couldn't help but ask, Miaomiao, you are not a card maker, why are you buying blank cards? Before Lin Miaomiao could answer, Yu Zixin said, you are really stupid. Miaomiao has a younger brother who is a card maker. Liu Kaier suddenly realized, so these are for my younger brother. My younger brother is a level 4 card maker. Lin Miaomiao couldn't stand it anymore. Level 3 blank cards are of no use to him. These are for Lu Mingji. For him. Everyone was surprised. Lin Miaomiao nodded. He insisted on paying back his medical bills, so we couldn't refuse. The points we earned were because of him, so we could exchange them for some empty cards for him. After paying back Xiaoqian, Lu Mingji probably wouldn't even have enough credit to buy empty cards. How would he practice making level 3 energy cards then? So that's the way it works, Liu Kaier said, understanding a little. Then I'll use my points to exchange them for some empty cards for him. 20 points were exchanged for one level 3 empty card. Lin Miaomiao had over 3,600 points, so she exchanged them for 180 empty cards. Liu Kaier and the other 6 exchanged another 320, rounding up to 500. They then had Xiaoqian deliver them to Lu Mingji by express mail. Liu Kaier was still a little dissatisfied. Miaomiao, why didn't you tell me earlier? I wasted my points on toys. Lin Miaomiao's lips curled slightly as she said, 500 level 3 blank cards are more than enough, if Lu Mingji was smart and hard-working. These 500 blank cards would not only allow him to successfully create level 3 energy cards, but he could also sell the finished products for a considerable amount of credit points, thus covering the cost of materials. Of course, if Lu Mingji couldn't advance to level 3 card maker after using up these cards, then there would be no need for them to continue supporting him. Liu Kaier had no idea what was going on in Lin Miaomiao's mind, but since no one objected, she didn't want to dwell on it any further. Chapter 83 Choice. After leaving the mission hall, Xiaoqian said proudly that he had obtained the class schedule for the boy from the Ji family. Alright, Zhu Chen said, a headache brewing. Can we get back to business? Of course, everyone answered in unison. Everyone was familiar with the young man from the Ji family, they'd all met him last time. He was Ji Kemi, one of Lu Mingji's suitors. Ji Kemi was the grandson of the current Ji family's great elder, and he was incredibly favored by the great elder. He was a man who had a free hand within the Ji family. Being so spoiled, he naturally couldn't get used to living in a school dormitory. The fundamental cause of Ji Kemi's conflict with Lu Mingji was jealousy. Lu Mingji was already a level 2 card creator, while Ji Kemi had ample training resources and yet had yet to successfully create a level 2 energy card. How could Ji Kemi, a self-proclaimed genius, tolerate this? Card creators have a legacy. Without a good mentor, a card maker's level stagnates, often leading to some remaining low-level card makers their entire lives. However, if a high-level card maker took him in as their apprentice, they could potentially soar to the top. Logically, with Ji Kemi's family background and no apparent lack of slouch, finding a mentor shouldn't be difficult. However, Lu Mingji, who had already reached the rank of level 2 card creator without even becoming his apprentice, naturally cast Ji Kemi aside for his talent. While some intermediate card makers were interested in Ji Kemi and wanted to take him on, Ji Kemi refused. In his view, only advanced card makers were worthy of being his mentors, and since his path was blocked by such a tactless person, he naturally sought to remove them, hence his deliberate provocation of Lu Mingji. Everyone scoffed at Ji Kemi's idea. In the interstellar age, intermediate card creator status was already quite prestigious, yet Ji Kemi still looked down on it. How arrogant must he be? Such a shameless person needs to be made to realize his worth, Xiaoqian said. It was better to start a fight sooner rather than later, so after confirming that Ji Kemi had a class the following morning at 9 a.m., they decided on a time and location for their action. From where Ji Kemi lives to where the school is, there is a tree-lined area. There are no houses there, so that's where the action was decided. As for the participants, Lin Miaomiao decided that there shouldn't be too many people. Zhang Xingyan and Feng Liqin didn't have to go, because although their family's strength on the planet Malulin was not bad, it was still not as good as the Ji family, so it was better to avoid suspicion. Although Zhang Xingyan and Feng Liqin were very unhappy, they decided it anyway because they knew it was for their own good. In order to have a legitimate reason to be there, everyone agreed to gather at Xiaoqian's villa that night. Except for Zhang Xingyan and Feng Liqin who would go back to the dormitory overnight, Everyone else would stay at Xiaoqian's place. Xiaoqian was very excited about this, because Lin Miaomiao would also stay overnight, so he could have more time to spend with his sweetheart. That evening, Lin Miaomiao cooked at Xiaoqian's villa, enlisting the help of a young girl. She prepared about 10 dishes, including jiran mutton, braised elk, boiled fish fillets, braised gourami meat, steamed sparrows, braised pork with preserved vegetables, and maoksu wang, Chinese maosu wang. The portions were generous, leaving everyone's stomachs full and reluctant to put down their chopsticks. Liu Kaoyer was even more determined. Wherever Miaomiao goes after graduation, I'll go. Xiaoqian also quickly declared, I'll always be by Miaomiao's side. Foodie, Yu Zixin scoffed, then turned to Lin Miaomiao hesitantly. Which legion or fleet are you planning to join, Zhu Chen? Shouldn't Zixin be more concerned about his boyfriend's future after graduation? Lin Miaomiao felt that since everyone present was an excellent mecha pilot and a close friend, they could support each other and develop their careers together if they joined the same fleet. However, Lin Miaomiao wasn't sure if her chosen fleet would be well received. Everyone noticed Lin Miaomiao's hesitation. Yu Zixin and the others simply assumed she hadn't made a decision yet and didn't take it seriously. However, Liu Kaoyer and Feng Liken were moved. They exchanged a glance, and Liu Kaoyer asked directly, Miaomiao, do you want to go to the Central Legion? Lin Miaomiao nodded, readily admitting the decision. Xiaoqian and the others were somewhat surprised. Since Lin's second and third uncles were both in the Suzaku Legion, they had assumed Lin Miaomiao would go there, too. After all, the Suzaku Legion was the foundation of the Lin family. They hadn't expected Lin Miaomiao to want to go to the Central Legion. Xiaoqian couldn't help but ask, why? Lin Miaomiao replied, my eldest brother is there, and he's always wanted me to accompany him. Want to accompany my eldest brother? It was obviously because Teacher Yu was there, right? Otherwise, why hadn't they heard you wanted to go there before? Liu Kaoyer and Feng Liken grumbled inwardly. The Central Core isn't bad either. It's one of the 5 major core, after all, Zhu Chen said with a smile. Zixin, how about we go to the Central Core too? Since her boyfriend had already made up his mind to follow Lin Miaomiao, Zhu Chen had no choice but to speak first, lest he embarrass himself further. Yu Zixin nodded as a matter of course. Good friends naturally want to explore the interstellar space together. Well, Lin Miaomiao rarely put away her expressionless face, and said a little embarrassedly, you guys should think about it. I want to join the Shenaiyu fleet. This time everyone was really shocked. The Shenaiyu fleet wasn't a large fleet. Anyone with connections knew that the Shenaiyu fleet was just there to clean up battlefields. Yu Zixin, for once, became serious. Even if your brother was there, you wouldn't want to go to a fleet like that. After all, they had been classmates for several years, and everyone knew Lin Miaomiao well. She wasn't someone who would settle for last place. Lin Miaomiao bit her lip. She was trying to convince herself with this reason. Seeing Lin Miaomiao's entanglement, Xiaoqian suddenly had a bad feeling. He felt that he might not want to hear the real answer, so he tried to stop Yu Zixin from asking for the answer. Actually, oh, Miaomiao doesn't want to say it, let me say it, Liu Kaoyer couldn't help but say. Now everyone knows the captain of the Shenaiyu fleet. It's Mr. Yi Hongwen. Chapter 84 Beating Ji Kemi. At 8:55 a.m., in the shaded area outside the Millen First Military Academy, a cute pink car was slowly making its way to the school. Suddenly, a speeding red car approached from behind. The pink car inadvertently tilted off its track, and the red car, traveling at high speed, was caught off guard and collided with the pink car. Fortunately, both cars had top-notch defenses, and no one in them was injured. However, the red car's quality seemed inferior to the pink one's. The front of the car was dented, and the headlights were shattered. The owner, furious, opened the window and shouted, "Get off the track and stop!" The owner was none other than Ji Kemi of the Ji family. With that, Ji Kemi maneuvered the car off the track and parked it on the ground. As a member of the Ji family, the residents in this area generally respected the Ji family, so if he asked them to stop, they would definitely do so. As expected, the pink car waddled to a stop next to Ji Kemi's car. Ji Kemi had already gotten out of the car, accompanied by a robot bodyguard. He was about to smash the car door with great momentum, but he didn't expect that the door of the white car was already open. Soon, Lin Miaomiao and her 4 friends got out of the car one after another, with Lolly holding the rear. Seeing the people getting out of the car, Ji Kemi's face changed. "Why are you here?" Yu Zixin said with a grin. "I went to the Xiaoqian family for a party last night. It was too late and I didn't go home. I didn't expect to run into Master Ji Shie today." Ji Kemi is not a stupid person. The group of people in front of him are obviously here with bad intentions. He just doesn't know how he offended them. Could it be because of the last ring match? "Zhu Chen, I don't remember that there have been any conflicts with you recently," Ji Kemi said. Zhu Chen was not panicked even though he was named. "Didn't we just bump into each other? I remember it was you who bumped into us." Ji Kemi's face turned pale. Not only was he the one who bumped into someone, but he was also the one who asked them to get off the car first. Even if they did it on purpose, he would be the one who would suffer. Ji Kemi wanted to back out. "I don't know what you are talking about. I have to go to class. If you have anything, wait until after class." As he spoke, Ji Kemi turned around and wanted to get in the car, but was stopped by Xiaoqian. "Don't be in a hurry. The matter has not been resolved yet," Ji Kemi said sternly. "If you want to make trouble for me, think it over carefully. I'm not someone who can be bullied easily." Xiaoqian smiled maliciously. "You'll know if I'm easy to bully after you try." Before he finished speaking, Xiaoqian punched Ji Kemi in the face. Ji Kemi didn't expect Xiaoqian to start fighting as soon as he said it. His robot bodyguard reacted quickly and stepped forward to stop him, but Lolly stretched out her hand to stop him. The Lolly trapped Ji Kemi's robot bodyguard, preventing him from even taking out his electric baton or energy gun. Ji Kemi was a card maker, so how could he defeat a mecha maker? Xiaoqian's first round of punches made his nose bleed. Lin Miaomiao frowned, thinking that this kind of beating was not okay, and warned, "Don't hide him in the face." Xiaoqian paused, then landed his second punch on Ji Kemi's stomach, instantly turning him into a shrimp-like shape. "Do you really want to go against our Ji family?" Ji Kemi's face twisted in pain, but he still gritted his teeth and threatened, "Don't forget that there are surveillance cameras here. If you make the first move, your family won't cover for you." "Don't worry about that," Lin Miaomiao said coldly. Last night at Xiaoqian's house, they had originally planned to chat and discuss their plans after graduation, but Xiaoqian suddenly changed his expression and said some sour words, and in the end, everyone left on bad terms. Lin Miaomiao knew the reason why Xiaoqian changed his face, but she could only play dumb and escape. It was not that she had not refused, but Xiaoqian refused to give up. Because she was in a bad mood and lived in an unfamiliar room, Lin Miaomiao couldn't sleep, so she went to the Star Network for a while, but happened to meet her friend Kinkyu whom she hadn't seen for a long time. When chatting with Kinkyu, Kinkyu learned that they were going to cause trouble for the annoying people today, so she volunteered to help block the surveillance during this time period. Kinkyu has superb technology, so of course Lin Miaomiao agreed happily, so she didn't care about Ji Kemi's threat at all. Ji Kemi originally wanted to threaten Xiaoqian to stop, but she didn't expect that Lin Miaomiao's casual words would make Yu Zixin take it to heart. Yu Zixin knew very well that Lin Miaomiao never said anything he was not sure about. There was no need to worry about surveillance, so why was he still so arrogant? So, Yu Zixin also rushed over, and together with Xiaoqian, he beat Ji Kemi up mercilessly. However, he hit her so hard that by the time he was done, Ji Kemi was covered in blood and swollen skin, and fainted from the pain. Ji Kemi's robot bodyguard had been powered off by Lolita and thrown to the ground, while Ji Kemi had gained weight from the beating. Lin Miaomiao felt a little depressed. Beating him like this, he'll be taking advantage when he complains about it, idiot, Liu Kaoyer said without hesitation. This was the first time Liu Kaoyer had found the opportunity to call Lin Miaomiao an idiot. After the curse, she beamed, feeling refreshed, and completely oblivious to Lin Miaomiao's sinister look. She hadn't even settled the score from last night, and now he dared to scold her again. Lin Miaomiao quickly added another entry to her black book. Then, Lin Miaomiao saw Yu Zixin take out a high-end treatment chamber. Lin Miaomiao, you're kidding. Aren't advanced treatment chambers only for military doctors? Perhaps because Lin Miaomiao's doubts were too blunt, Zhu Chen actually explained, Zixin was afraid he might be too careless, so he borrowed it from someone. As for who to borrow it from, what wealthy family wouldn't have a military doctor? Lin Miaomiao simply hadn't considered that. Xiaoqian had already thrown Ji Kemi into the advanced treatment chamber. They'd used their weapons with discretion. Ji Kemi's injuries were only minor, and a 10-minute soak in the repair fluid would heal them. When Ji Kemi emerged, she was still unconscious, but her injuries were gone. Shi Aokian roughly shoved her into the bright red car, then shoved the robot bodyguard in, turned on the power, and finally closed the car's door. By then, Lin Miaomiao had already put away the pink car and replaced it with a silver-white one, telling everyone to get in and leave. After the robot bodyguard program was started, it found its owner sleeping soundly in the back seat of the car. The electronic eye turned and found no previous record, so it started the car and rushed to its owner's school. In the silver-white car, Liu Kanier was pestering Lin Miaomiao to ask about the surveillance situation, but Lin Miaomiao shook her head and said, "It's a secret." Liu Kanier pouted, "Even if the surveillance didn't capture it, Ji Kemi's robot bodyguard's intelligent brain has a record. It doesn't matter." Lin Miaomiao was confident, "Lolita has taken care of it." Liu Kanier was stunned. It turned out that Lolita was the real beauty. Chapter 85, Seizing Representative Seats. While Lin Miaomiao and his gang were racking their brains to beat Ji Kemi, a fierce battle to seize the station broke out in the base of the Shenaiyu fleet. The story begins after the Shenaiyu fleet obtained the selection qualification for major military academies. It is said that the Shenaiyu fleet was originally not qualified to sit in the VIP seats of various military academies, and could not select outstanding students from the military academies. It could only recruit soldiers from some second-rate private mecha schools. After Yi Hongwen returned to the Central Corps, he did not return to his original corps. Instead, he joined the Shenaiyu fleet under the exclusion of a certain airborne person. After half a year of hard work, he successfully became the new captain after the original captain was promoted. In the eyes of others, the Shenaiyu fleet is just a shabby fleet, but Yi Hongwen does not think so, because he found that there are hidden dragons and crouching tigers in the Shenaiyu fleet, but most of the team members have very strange personalities. After Yi Hongwen became captain, his former fleet comrades flocked to him. Combined with the talented individuals he had sought out, he now had enough men to man 2 large warships, though they only had one ready-made vessel. After over a year of hard work, the Shenaiyu fleet had also taken down several small pirate colonies, gained a considerable amount of loot, and was preparing to purchase a second warship. After the Shenaiyu fleet had barely shaken off the burden of clearing the battlefields, Yi Hongwen applied for recruitment permits at various military academies. With the recruitment season approaching, Yi Hongwen convened all members of the fleet to discuss recruitment, with a primary focus being who would represent the various academies. After a half-hour meeting, the representatives for the various planets had been largely confirmed, and Yi Hongwen breathed a sigh of relief, confident that nothing would go wrong today. However, his reassurance was premature. Milan First Military Academy? Great. Boss, I want to go. The speaker was Liu Yifei, a former member of Yi Hongwen's fleet who had come to join the boss. Seeing the school the boss had attended reminded him of the hot pot they had eaten there. Since there hadn't been any arguments before, Yi Hongwen was ready to accept the offer, but Wen Hao, another member of the fleet, disagreed. Let me go. I'm from the planet Milan and graduated from that school, so it's easier for them to accept outstanding students. After finally waiting for his younger sister to graduate, Wen Hao had to make a trip to get her back. Everything in the Shenaiyu fleet was improving, but the food was going downhill. Besides, that guy in the Suzaku Corps always mocked his fleet's shabby state. If he could just get his beloved younger sister over, they'd be in tears. Someone wanted to grab the good job, and Liu Yifei immediately refused. Wen Hao, you are an armor-making graduate, and if you go there as a mecha engineer, people will think our fleet is unprofessional. Wen Hao was dissatisfied. I am a mecha engineer now, a professional. Besides, I am the most suitable person to go. I have acquaintances in school, and I can hook up with students from both the armor-making and mecha departments at the same time. Ha! Great. In the end, Wen Hao himself felt that it was abnormal for the boss not to let him go. However, Yi Hongwen had other considerations. A mecha pilot must have his own mecha, but the newly recruited students may not all have them. The fleet does not have enough mechas. Wen Hao, you should stay in the base and see if you can assemble a few mechas with the existing parts. Liu Yifei was immediately happy. Wen Hao, you have a heavy task. It seems that I am the one who should go to Miloland this time. Who said that? Ji Yuanyang interrupted slowly. I've been quite free recently, and I also want to go back to Miloland. Why are you, a military doctor, joining in the fun? Liu Yifei widened his eyes. Besides, don't you like to go back to Miloland? Ji Yuanyang smiled. I haven't visited my mother for several years. Even if I don't like to go back, I have to go back. Besides, I have something important to go back this time, so I have an excuse not to stay at home. But how can you, a military doctor, know how to select mecha pilots? Can you fight with them to find out their bottom line? Liu Yifei gave a reason. Yifei, you're stupid. This isn't like going to some elementary school to recruit people. You have to do the screening yourself. There will be tryouts. Besides, what's the point of just having good skills? You have to have good character too. If you go there blindly and get ripped off, you won't even know it. Bringing back those stinkers will be a disaster. Ji Yuany's reasoning was so compelling that Liu Yifei was speechless. Give me the chance, I can do these things too, Wen Hao said, still a little unwilling. New recruits always have to train for a while. It's just as well to wait until we get back to build the mechas. Ji Yuany's expression became a little strange. Wen Hao, I remember you have a sister who's also a senior. What's her name? Let me think, such a despicable fellow. Wen Hao decided to go back to work in the mecha warehouse. Ji Yuanyang, who won the final victory, smiled with satisfaction and turned to look at Yi Hongwen. Boss, we have decided. Yi Hongwen was silent for a long time before saying, I have decided too. The smile on Ji Yuanyang's face froze. He suddenly had a bad premonition, and then his premonition came true. Because the result announced by Yi Hongwen was, Milulan First Military Academy, I will go there myself this year, everyone. What are they arguing so desperately about? Such a result is really welcome. Liu Yifei laughed wildly. Boss, you didn't tell me you were going earlier, it's so unfair, Ji Yuanyang said with a bitter face. He worked hard to suppress his opponent, but the boss snatched it away with just one sentence. Yi Hongwen raised his eyebrows. How could he say that he didn't want to go? It was obvious that everyone was vying for it so fiercely. Could he help but grab it? Seeing Ji Yuanyang's resentful expression, Yi Hongwen decided to offer a more righteous response. I've taught this elite senior class for a year and a half, and I've also been acting homeroom teacher for a year. Perhaps I can convince some of the best students to come here. Ji Yuanyang couldn't argue with such a compelling argument, so he could only retreat silently. Alright, let's move on to the next school, the Mecha 3rd Military Academy on Fluorescent Star. Raise your hands if you want to go. This time, no one stood up. Yi Hongwen thought for a moment, then called on someone. Since no one wants to go, then Ji Yuanyang should go. Ji Yuanyang's face turned pale. Boss, I'm just a military doctor, it's okay. I saw him during the tryouts. I'll just observe his character, Yi Hongwen said calmly. Ji Yuanyang was practically in tears. If he had known he'd be assigned this kind of job, he wouldn't have gotten involved. He was crazy to go to Fluorescent Star, with its pirates. After the meeting, Liu Yifei and Ji Yuanyang both returned to their dormitories with their heads drooping, but Yi Hongwen seemed in good spirits. I don't know if I can bring back a certain cook this time when I return to Milulan. Chapter 86, Statement. With the arrival of the tryouts, recruiting representatives from various corps and fleets arrived, and the school became much busier. Military representatives typically stayed at the school's guest house, so these days, students often casually passed by the guest house entrance, all of them seniors. Should we go take a look around the guest house? Yuzixin asked excitedly. The tryouts were about to begin, and the seniors were making their final efforts. The school's mecha training room was constantly packed, so Yuzixin and the others gathered in the Lin family's basement to practice. Zhu Chen said somewhat helplessly, those are from other departments, trying their luck and seeing if there's a special recruitment for non-combat personnel. We in the mecha department, command department, card design department, and armor repair department wouldn't want anyone to join in the fun. As for the armor design department, graduates generally went to the Mecha Research Institute or applied for jobs at mecha factories. Yuzixin muttered, it's better to go and find out more about the situation. Just looking at those recruitment brochures is useless, Liu Kanyer teased, a grown man is still pretending to be cute here. How can we girls get by? Yuzixin's face darkened, but he didn't want to hit anyone, so he changed the subject. Miaomiao, have you really decided to go to Shanghai? Of course, Liu Kanyer rushed to answer for Lin Miaomiao, you don't know, but the class teacher specifically talked to us about this. After mentioning that Yi Hongwen was the new captain of the Shanghai fleet last time, Shi Aoqian was not very happy, and Liu Kanyer didn't dare to mention Jin Hao looking for them again. Today, Shi Aoqian didn't come because of something, so everyone dared to mention it again. So this is the case. It must be Teacher Yu who asked Teacher Jin to help tell him, Yu Zixin said with some dissatisfaction. Why didn't he come to me and Zuchen? Liu Kaoyer shrugged. Who knows? Maybe male mecha pilots are less valuable. Kaoyer, how can you talk like that? How can I, a handsome and elegant man, be worthless? Zhang Xingyan said unconvinced. And Yu Zixin's face darkened again. He really wanted to smear Liu Kaoyer's face with blood. Zuchen, who knew her boyfriend well, quickly grabbed his hand and said seriously, Yao Jin seems reluctant to go to the Shenai fleet. This sentence did not specify who it was said to, but everyone looked at Lin Miaomiao, but she was very calm. With so many fleets to choose from, he can always find one that satisfies him, but he just wants to go to the same fleet with you, Yu Zixin said. But he doesn't like the Shenai fleet. Lin Miaomiao lowered her eyes, hiding the boredom in her eyes. Yu Zixin lost his temper. It's not that he doesn't like the Shenai fleet, it's clearly that he doesn't like your reason for going there. He doesn't like Yu Hongwen. Yu Zixin was feeling sorry for Shi Yaoqian. In his opinion, Shi Yaoqian's 2 years of companionship hadn't earned Lin Miaomiao a nod, which was a bit unfair. That's his business, none of my business, Lin Miaomiao said coldly. For the last time, it's my eldest brother who wanted me to go. Lin Miaomiao could only apologize for Shi Yaoqian's persistence. She had refused him many times, both openly and covertly, and even considered distancing herself from him, but he always pretended not to understand. Now that Yu Zixin had come to her defense, Lin Miaomiao felt no guilt, only annoyance. Besides, while Lin Miaomiao had some feelings for Yu Hongwen, they weren't as infatuated as the original owner. If it weren't for her eldest brother constantly reaching out to her whenever he had time, always complaining pitifully about the poor food on the fleet and how lonely it was without family, Lin Miaomiao wouldn't have made the decision. Before she crossed over, she had no blood brothers or sisters. After arriving here, except for the time when Lin Xianhao was busy adapting to the environment in the early days of joining the Shenai fleet, he would video chat with her almost every week, or send her specialties from various galaxies. Lin Miaomiao felt that she liked this brother. She said many times that she decided to go to the Shenai fleet for her elder brother, but why didn't everyone believe it? Lin Miaomiao felt a little disappointed, afraid that if she continued to talk, she would vent her anger on Yu Zixin, so she got up quietly and left. Everyone heard the rare impatience in Lin Miaomiao's tone, and they were a little stunned for a moment. After being stunned, Feng Liqin didn't think there was anything wrong with what Lin Miaomiao said, but thought that Yu Zixin was confused. Feng Liqin, who is always gentle, couldn't help but complain, Yu Zixin, are you stupid? Miaomiao has never interfered with your relationship issues. What right do you have to interfere with hers? Liu Kaoyer said unhappily. Miaomiao has rejected Shi Yaoqian several times. He was the one who couldn't let go. How can you blame Miaomiao? And I believe Miaomiao went to the Shenai fleet because of his eldest brother. Even Zhang Xingyan couldn't help but express his opinion. Love can't be forced. I just feel sorry for Yaoqian. Yu Zixin shrank his neck. How about I go and apologize to Miaomiao? Feng Liqin sighed. Forget it. Let's stop training here for today. We can talk about it tomorrow if there's anything. By this time, no one was in the mood to train anymore, so they quietly put away their mechas. As soon as they walked out of the basement, they saw Lin Miaomiao sitting on the sofa in the living room with a frown, confusion and bewilderment in her eyes. When she saw everyone coming out, her expression became expressionless again. Lin Miaomiao said, why aren't you training anymore? I haven't started cooking yet. Yu Zixin, who was looking at Lin Miaomiao eagerly, breathed a sigh of relief. Since he was still willing to cook for them, he shouldn't be too angry. However, he still had to apologize. Yu Zixin took small steps in front of Lin Miaomiao and said shyly, I'm sorry, I won't doubt your words anymore, and I won't interfere in your private affairs anymore. Lin Miaomiao was a little stunned. She didn't expect Yu Zixin to come and apologize so quickly. In fact, she was not very angry. After all, Yu Zixin and Shi Yaoqian had known each other longer, and it was normal for Yu Zixin to care more about his feelings. Forget it. Lin Miaomiao's mood suddenly became very good. Since you are here, let's wait here for a guest together. Guest, everyone repeated in unison. What kind of guest needs to sit here and wait? Liu Kaoyer asked, and sat down next to Lin Miao. The others also took their seats, waiting for the host to answer their questions. Lin Miaomiao refused, simply saying calmly, you'll know in a few minutes. Perhaps you can take a guess. It's so rude to keep you in suspense, Yu Zixin complained, then casually guessed, anyone who could make you act like that must be an elder or a teacher. Could it be that Teacher Jin is coming to eat again? Those close to Lin Miaomiao usually came to the Lin family villa for free meals. Jin Hao had originally agreed to take on the senior mecha class A, partly because of Yu Hongwen's request, and partly because he wanted to eat from time to time. Everyone present was Lin Miaomiao's close friend, and they'd occasionally run into Jin Hao while eating. Lin Miaomiao's request to guess meant everyone knew him, so Yu Zixin naturally assumed it was Jin Hao. Thank you all for your continued support and suggestions. Mecha Chef is going V today, and I hope to receive your continued support. Enough talk, to thank you all, today's 5th update. Chapter 87 Goodbye Yi Hongwen, available for first order. As Yu Zixin expressed his suspicions, the doorbell rang. Lolly rushed out of the kitchen excitedly, as if afraid her master would just press the remote. Just as Lolly reached the front door, Lin Miaomiao suddenly stood up, and everyone else followed suit in surprise. Jin Hao's visit wouldn't be something Lin Miaomiao would take seriously. The door opened, and a stern man in a white military uniform appeared. He seemed surprised to see so many people in the living room. Lin Miaomiao struggled with what to call, but after a moment's hesitation, he called out, "Teacher Yi." Yi Hongwen nodded. "Your place is getting quite lively." He remembered when he was still at the Miralin First Military Academy, Lin Miaomiao had few friends and kept to himself every day. "Teacher Yi." Everyone gathered around him, even Yu Zixin, who had just misunderstood that Lin Miaomiao had decided to join the Shinryu fleet for Yi Hongwen. Although Yi Hongwen had only taught him for a semester and a half, his prestige was considerable. The reason was simple: his exceptional skills, despite his youth, had already reached the level of a 6th-level mecha master. His lectures were clear, accessible, and diligent. Zhu Chen was now a 4th-level mecha master, seemingly only 2 levels behind Yi Hongwen, but in reality, the difference was worlds apart. Reaching the 4th level was like hitting a hurdle one could never overcome. Some never made it, remaining a 4th-level mecha master forever, while others, upon reaching it, were already aging. Seeing his former students, Yi Hongwen's cold, handsome face softened. "Long time no see. How are you all?" "Fine," Yu Zixin replied, then sensed something was amiss. Didn't Teacher Yi say he disliked Miaomiao? Then why had he chosen her first when he returned to school to recruit? He glanced back at the others, who also looked in disbelief, and suddenly felt relieved. It turned out he wasn't the only one who felt the same way. After greeting everyone, they sat down again. Lin Miaomiao asked directly, "Teacher Yi, what brings you here today?" Yi Hongwen replied, "I'm here for a free meal." Lin Miaomiao, "Please, can you not say something like free meal with such a cold face? It's completely detrimental to one's worldview." Lin Miaomiao kept her composure even as she complained internally. Liu Kaoyer and the others, on the other hand, couldn't handle it any longer, their expressions becoming utterly bizarre. "Lolly," Lin Miaomiao called out, "go get some pork rib and chicken soup, and some more vegetables, and more meat. We're having hot pot for lunch today." She left without a word, and now she's coming back and expecting to use her as a free cook? No way. Yi Hongwen froze. He actually wanted to eat Lin Miaomiao's homemade dishes. In the past 2 years, the Lin family bistro has become the Lin family Interstellar Hotel, with branches across various star systems. He was tired of hot pot. But it wouldn't be nice to reject in front of so many students just because of his stuttering. So Yi Hongwen started to sulk, and the atmosphere instantly reached a freezing point. Liu Kaoyer suddenly felt a surge of regret. She shouldn't have stayed. Although she admired Teacher Yi, wouldn't eating hot pot with Teacher Yi give her indigestion? Feeling the same way, Yu Zixin couldn't sit still any longer. He silently cursed Lin Miaomiao for being such a jerk, but said with a forced smile, "I suddenly remembered that my dad asked me to go home at noon today, so I'll be leaving first." Before he could finish his words, Yu Zixin had already stood up, eager to leave. Zhu Chen, seeing him, quickly followed suit. "Wait, did you forget Uncle Yu asked me to come along?" Lin Miaomiao curled her lips, not even saying goodbye. Zhu Chen probably didn't even bother to be polite today, but it was too late to leave. "Zixin, it's rare for Teacher Yu to come by. Uncle Yu won't blame you if you don't go back," Lin Miaomiao said slowly. "How about I ask Uncle Yu for leave for you?" Yu Zixin paused, feeling a little frustrated. Miaomiao was too mean, deliberately making the atmosphere awkward and not letting him leave. Lin Miaomiao didn't want to continue the awkward silence, and Yi Hongwen wasn't exactly a pushover, so it wasn't long before Lin Miaomiao took the initiative again. "Teacher Yi, are you here to recruit?" Yi Hongwen replied gravely. "The Shenyu fleet is short-handed and wants to recruit more outstanding students. Has Jin Hao contacted you?" "Yes," Lin Miaomiao nodded, then asked knowingly, "Teacher Yi is the captain of the Shenyu fleet. Why are you here to recruit?" Lin Miaomiao had known about Yi Hongwen's visit for a while, as Lin Xianhao had already complained to her about wanting to go home, only to have the opportunity snatched away by the boss. Yi Hongwen's reason for coming in person wasn't hard to guess. He had been the homeroom teacher of this year's Mecha Class 4A and was incredibly popular. Many of the students would likely be happy to follow him. This was a good thing, at least it would make it easier to convince Gadir and the others to join the Shenyu fleet. Lin Miaomiao was secretly delighted. Her mood lifted, and Lin Miaomiao felt it was insincere to treat the teacher to hot pot that could be made by a young girl, so she stood up and said, "I'll go to the kitchen and make a few snacks." Yi Hongwen's mouth twitched. He hadn't even thought of an answer to that question, and the girl was about to run away. Fortunately, the previous words broke the deadlock. Yu Zixin and the others were not shy. Seeing Lin Miaomiao leave, Yu Zixin jokingly asked, "Teacher Yi, what are your recruitment requirements?" "Do you think I meet the requirements?" Yi Hongwen had taught all the students present and had heard Jin Hao mention it several times, so he answered without hesitation, "Of course I meet the requirements." Yu Zixin added, "Then please take good care of me from now on." Was the decision made? Yi Hongwen was a little surprised. He thought that even if he came in person, he wouldn't be able to recruit many outstanding students. After all, the current Shenyu fleet was really rubbish. He didn't expect good news so soon. Yi Hongwen didn't ask why, but simply turned to look at Zhu Chen and the other three. "What about you guys?" Zhu Chen said without hesitation. "I'm going with Zixin." Liu Kaoyer and Fen Liken nodded. "Miaomiao's going, so naturally we should follow." Having agreed to be lifelong friends, good friends should see each other often to stay connected. Only Zhang Xingyan was hesitant. He, Yu Zixin, Zhu Chen, and Shi Aoqian had all grown up together. Shi Aoqian didn't want to go to the Shenyu fleet, fearing he'd be left alone. Yu Zixin saw Zhang Xingyan's hesitation as unfounded worry. "Don't worry, he won't give up until the very end. Even if he did give up, they would still be friends." Shi Aoqian wasn't the type to turn a blind eye to rejection. "That's true," Zhang Xingyan said, relieved. "Then count Teacher Yin as one too." Yi Hongwen's mood brightened. It seemed like this trip had been a good one. Even if he didn't gain anything in the subsequent trials, it wouldn't be in vain. Chapter 88. Rushing to hide a wall, on the shelf for first order. After leaving Ji Kemi's place, Ji Ziyan prepared to go back to school to catch up on some sleep. Her family didn't have the money to buy a villa for her to stay overnight, so she had always lived in the school dormitory. Lying in the car, Ji Ziyan felt a surge of injustice. She was obviously no worse than Lin Miaomiao, but she didn't have a strong family to back her up, so her future was ruined. If she was the daughter of the head of the family, how could the Lin family dare to treat her like this? Speaking of which, wasn't the girl who shared the same dormitory with her the daughter of the head of the family? She always advised her to let go of the past grudges, saying that the Ji family would find a way to help her find a good future. They were all liars, just as annoying as Lin Miaomiao. When they were about to arrive at school, Ji Ziyan suddenly had the urge to go to the Lin family villa to take a look. At this time, she didn't know what Lin Miaomiao was doing. Although she knew that she wouldn't be able to see her even if she ran over, Ji Ziyan still followed the urge in her heart. Ji Ziyan knew the way to the Lin family villa. It wasn't long before she appeared not far from the villa. Just as she was about to get closer, she noticed two people standing face to face at the gate. One was wearing a white military uniform, facing inward, while the other was Lin Miaomiao, facing outward. Ji Ziyan's heart skipped a beat. Half of those who could wear a white military uniform were captains. Could it be that Lin Miaomiao had already chosen which regiment to join? It looked like her impulsive decision wasn't in vain. Thinking this, Ji Ziyan put away her speeder and hid behind a tree. She would wait for the captain to emerge. If possible, it would be nice to get to know him. "Teacher Yi, take care. Come back when you have time," Lin Miaomiao said. Yi Hongwen had just finished dinner when he said he had to leave. As the host, Lin Miaomiao naturally had to see him out. Yes, Yi Hongwen replied, adding smoothly, then I'll come back for dinner tonight. Lin Miaomiao, actually, that was just a polite remark. Unfortunately, the words had already been spoken and it was impossible to take them back. Lin Miaomiao could only tearfully say that she would definitely cook a big dinner for him in the evening. Yi Hongwen was satisfied and was about to leave. After thinking for a while, he took out a small box from his pocket and handed it to Lin Miaomiao. I'm sorry to bother you with my meals for the next few days in Milulan. This is the food allowance. Looking at the beautiful pink and purple carved box, Lin Miaomiao was a little conflicted. Should she accept it? After all, he was her former teacher and future captain. It was only right to entertain him for a few days. It seemed a bit awkward to charge him for food. However, the box was really beautiful, and the things inside should be good. What should she do if she really wanted it? Lin Miaomiao's dilemma was too obvious. Yi Hongwen couldn't help but shake his head. He simply took Lin Miaomiao's hand and stuffed the box into her hand. With the box in her hands, Lin Miaomiao stopped being pretentious. Apart from her family, this was the first time she had received a gift on a day other than her birthday. Even Shi Yaoqian, who claimed to like her, had never given her a gift. Well, actually, Lin Miaomiao knew that there was no intention of giving a gift to someone you liked. Nor was there any Valentine's Day or anything like that. Yi Hongwen had also made it clear that the box was for lunch. Suddenly feeling so lost, what could she do? Thank you, Teacher Yi, Lin Miaomiao said listlessly. Yi Hongwen's lips twitched slightly, wanting to ask why she was upset, but he kept his mouth shut and turned to launch his car. Ah! A short cry of surprise came from behind a tree. Yi Hongwen paused as he got into the car, his cold gaze fixed squarely on the tree. Who's there? Come out, Yi Hongwen shouted, his voice rising. Yu Zixin and the others in the living room heard the commotion and immediately ran out. What's going on? Lin Miaomiao pointed to where the noise had just come from. Someone's hiding there. Yu Zixin perked up instantly. Someone had actually come looking for trouble. He grabbed Zhu Chen and rushed over to grab the person. Liu Gaier, who loved to join in the fun, naturally followed behind. Come out now. Don't make me arrest you, Yu Zixin muttered. You dare to come here and do bad things? You're really brave. Today, I'll teach you a lesson. Before Yu Zixin could personally grab them, the person behind the tree came out on their own. Yu Zixin took a closer look and said in surprise, It's you? Lin Miaomiao was also surprised to find Ji Ziyan outside her villa. She asked, What's the matter with you? Ji Ziyan ignored her and quickly walked past Yu Zixin and the others to Yi Hongwen. She smiled coquettishly and said, Teacher Yi, long time no see. Hey, what's wrong with you? Liu Kao's eyes widened in anger. You're standing at someone's doorstep and ignoring the owner? Ji Ziyan pretended not to hear and continued to look at Yi Hongwen eagerly, waiting for his response. Sorry, I'm not your teacher anymore, Yi Hongwen said coldly, turning around and getting into the car, clearly not wanting to pay attention to her. Ji Ziyan's eyes instantly turned red. They were all once his students, so why was he so cruel to her? Seeing Ji Ziyan's frustration, Liu Kao brightened up and triumphantly said goodbye. Goodbye, Teacher Yi. Now that they were out, everyone said their goodbyes. Yi Hongwen nodded and left, not even glancing at Ji Ziyan. Devastated, Ji Ziyan was about to retrieve her speeder and leave, but Liu Kao stopped her. Ji Ziyan, already unhappy, was now trembling with rage. She screamed, Get out, hey, do you even know how to write politeness? Liu Kao rolled her eyes at her. We were classmates after all, and you can't even say hello, go away. Who has time for you? Ji Ziyan said bluntly. Liu Kao pouted and was about to say something, but Lin Miaomiao stopped her. Let her go. With Lin Miaomiao's words, Liu Kao couldn't stop her and could only watch Ji Ziyan leave. After she could no longer see Ji Ziyan's car, Lin Miaomiao asked her friends to go back to the living room. Liu Kao was still angry about her obstruction, so she pulled Feng Licken and said she wanted to go back to school. Lin Miaomiao did not stop her, but said coldly, There will be a welcoming banquet for Teacher Yi tonight, so you can leave if you want. Why are you like this? Liu Kao complained unhappily. It's obvious that Ji Ziyan came here with bad intentions, and you just let her go. Lin Miaomiao sneered. She didn't pry open the door or climb through the window, she just stood at the door for a while. I can still catch her. This, Liu Kao was speechless. And then she couldn't help stamping her feet. It's better to scold her a few words, so that she won't always make trouble. Lin Miaomiao shook her head. If you have that free time, you might as well take a nap. By the way, I'm going to sleep for a while. You guys can do whatever you want. If you want to go to training, go. If you want to sleep, you are familiar with the guest room on the first floor. After that, Lin Miaomiao went upstairs by herself. Wanting to go to bed right after eating. How lazy she is. Liu Kaoyer was so depressed that she turned around and wanted to complain to Feng Licken, but she found that her friends were all running to the guest rooms, and she was speechless. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 89, Mecha Dance, available for first order. After an hour's lunch break, Lin Miaomiao went to the basement to train full of energy. Surprisingly, no one was there, so she had to take out Aoksu and train on her own. As soon as she entered the mecha cabin, Aoksu couldn't wait to ask, "Master, where are my friends?" The friends were the mechas of Liu Kaoyer and the others. As an advanced intelligent mecha, Aoksu also knew how to find friends for herself. "Their master is still resting, let's practice first," Lin Miaomiao said. "Aoksu, why do I feel that your reaction ability has been a little slow recently?" Aoksu hesitated after a long time. "I've been too tired from training recently, and I feel a little dizzy." Lin Miaomiao laughed angrily. "The intelligent brain will feel dizzy, of course," Aoksu said righteously. "Because of more training, the intelligent center runs faster, and then you will feel dizzy." "Okay, you have a point." Lin Miaomiao was too lazy to argue with the mecha. "Let's practice cooperation today." Aoksu was happy. "Master, let's dance. We can relax and practice coordination, and combine work and rest." "Oh my god." Lin Miaomiao wanted to curse. "You, a mecha, know how to combine work and rest?" Aoksu said proudly. "Of course, who made me the unparalleled Aoksu? By the way, Master, when will you change my name to Shocking One?" "Why did they mention changing the name again?" Lin Miaomiao had a headache and said hurriedly, "Didn't you say you wanted to dance to relax? Why don't you start quickly?" "Great, I'll send a dance video to the master," Aoksu said excitedly. So, the window in front of Lin Miaomiao was divided into two. One side was the picture seen by the electronic eye, and the other side was several mechas dancing crazily. Shaking hands, standing on tiptoe, spinning in circles, kicking legs, bending over and twisting the buttocks, dancing in a very good manner, looking very happy, but in fact, they were just having seizures. The corners of Lin Miaomiao's mouth twitched, and at Aoksu's urging, she began to describe the dance moves she had just seen in her mind. She started by shaking her hands and standing on tiptoe, but accidentally described too much, and the mecha instantly lost balance and fell heavily to the ground. "Oh, Master Miaomiao, you are so stupid," Aoksu said unhappily. Lin Miaomiao had no choice but to say, again. This time, she described spinning in circles. Such a simple and easy to understand movement, Lin Miaomiao completed it without any pressure. However, Aoksu, who was spinning happily, asked to speed up again. Lin Miaomiao followed her advice and said, "Just spin harder." Spinning and spinning, a black mecha suddenly appeared in the basement, and Aoksu bumped into it, so he fell to the ground again. "I don't want to play anymore, everyone will think I'm crazy," Lin Miaomiao said unhappily, and glanced at the mecha again. It seemed that the other mechas didn't look like this. A black mecha with a red lotus painted on the cabin and its eyes flashing red light. It looked very familiar. Then Lin Miaomiao heard a very familiar voice. "What are you training?" asked a cold male voice. Lin Miaomiao was startled. "Teacher Yi? Did you have something to run? What could have been done so quickly?" He'd been gone less than 2 hours and he was already here. She'd assumed he wouldn't be here until 5 or 6. Yi Hongwen casually replied, "I went to the principal's office and transferred the 6 of your files, so early." Lin Miaomiao was taken aback. "Did they say files can only be transferred after the tryouts? That's a rule the principal just made up," Yi Hongwen dismissed. "I went to him and used a backdoor. It's easy to strike first, but Yi Hongwen wasn't going to let his best recruits get snatched away." Lin Miaomiao couldn't help but sigh. Using a backdoor was so convenient, but was it really okay to tell her about it? Lin Miaomiao remained silent for a while, and Yi Hongwen brought up the same question again. What kind of training were you doing? Lin Miaomiao was a little embarrassed. She couldn't bring herself to say she was dancing. Such impulsive movements were embarrassing. However, Lin Miaomiao was too embarrassed to explain, so Aoxu sympathetically said, Master Miaomiao is dancing with me, isn't it beautiful? After explaining, she excitedly said, Hi, new friend, nice to meet you. My name is Aoxu, which means standing proudly in the snow. What's your name? Lin Miaomiao couldn't help but want to format her voice after hearing her charming tone. So it's dancing. Yi Hongwen's voice revealed a subtle smile. It looks good. My mecha is named Black Lotus. Lin Miaomiao's face was a little hot. She always felt that Yi Hongwen was making fun of her. When she heard that the black mecha was named Black Lotus, she immediately wanted to get back at him, so she said pickily, the name doesn't live up to its name. It's obviously a red lotus. It should be called Blood Lotus, but Yi Hongwen said, naming it according to its reality will only make it look inferior. For example, your Aoxu talks a lot, but she got such a lonely name. That's very well said. Aoxu seemed to have met a soulmate. Master Miaomiao, I said that the name Aoxu is not good. Now your teacher says so. Let's change it. She didn't want to change it, Lin Miaomiao thought sadly, trying to change the subject. It's rare that teacher Yi is free. Why not guide my practical training? I always feel something is wrong these days. Yi Hongwen agreed very readily, and Aoxu didn't pester her to change her name anymore. Lin Miaomiao finally breathed a sigh of relief. Because it was a tutorial battle, no firearms were required, and only basic moves were used. The two of them moved very slowly, and Yi Hongwen quickly spotted Lin Miaomiao's shortcomings. Your movements aren't very coherent. Are you pausing after each command before moving on to the next? Lin Miaomiao thought about it, and it seemed to be true. She humbly asked, how can I make it more coherent? Don't use written commands. Just picture what you want to do in your mind. When fighting, you have to react to the opponent's moves with a conditioned reflex. After giving her instructions, Yi Hongwen began to teach Lin Miaomiao the moves. After practicing for a long time, Lin Miaomiao finally got the hang of it, and she was free to think about other things. Watching Black Lotus diligently teaching him the moves, Lin Miaomiao suddenly changed her moves, allowing Aoxu to use an energy gun attack. She wondered if teacher Yi could dodge it if she caught him off guard. Yi Hongwen's strength proved to be well deserved. Although Lin Miaomiao's sudden switch to firearms was unpredictable, Yi Hongwen dodged calmly, taking no damage at all. After dodging the attack, Yi Hongwen stopped. Why, you want to use your full attack? Lin Miaomiao laughed dryly. I have to practice everything. After all, I still have to participate in the competition. Wouldn't it be embarrassing for the teacher if I performed too poorly? That makes sense, Yi Hongwen said. Then I'll practice with you. Lin Miaomiao suddenly had a bad feeling. Chapter 90 Teacher Yi is here to use the dog again. The result of practicing well was that Lin Miaomiao was beaten like a dog again. When Yuzixin and his group came to the basement one after another, they saw Aoxu lying on the ground like a spoiled child and unwilling to get up, while Lian was standing quietly by the side waiting. What's the matter? Liu Kaoyer asked in surprise. Why is Miaomiao lying on the ground? Lin Miaomiao said weakly. It's okay, just a little tired. I don't think she's tired, but she's been hurt by teacher Yi's abuse, Yuzixin said with a gloating smile. Lin Miaomiao opened the mecha cabin and rolled her eyes at Yuzixin. Come if you can, come on. Yuzixin immediately released the mecha. Go outside the protective shield and rest quickly. Don't bother me here. Lin Miaomiao was silent for a long time before she said embarrassedly, I don't have the strength to climb down, everyone. Yuzixin sighed and was about to go up to carry the person down, but saw that Lian had already carried her down first. I feel like I've become a sack. Lin Miaomiao burst into tears. The feeling of being carried was really uncomfortable. Fortunately, Lian was very gentle when he put her down, so Lin Miaomiao didn't curse. At this time, Liu Kaoyer also came over and helped her to the chair. Kaoyer is such a good person, Lin Miaomiao thought with tears in her eyes, and then she heard Liu Kaoyer's impolite complaints. You were beaten so hard by the teacher that your hands and feet are weak. You are too lame. Lin Miaomiao, dare to despise me. Wait and see if I will beat you to death. At this time, Yuzixin had already started fighting with Yi Hongwen. Yuzixin used his ultimate move at the beginning, and directly used the laser sword, pointing the sword directly at Heilion's mecha cabin. Heilion jumped up and flew up in an instant to avoid the powerful blow. After dodging the attack, Heilion did 2 consecutive forward somersaults and landed behind Yuzixin's mecha Aurora. He raised his leg and kicked Aurora's buttocks quickly and accurately, and Aurora immediately fell to the ground. "Oh, Yuzixin, you are so awesome. You just lay on the ground at the beginning," Lin Miaomiao shouted exaggeratedly. Yuzixin had just rolled a few times, dodged Yi Hongwen's pursuit and got up. Hearing this, he lost his composure. "Lin Miaomiao, stop being so arrogant." The result of the clone's retort was that Aurora was kicked to the ground again. Lin Miaomiao deliberately exclaimed, "Oh, why are you lying on the ground again?" Yuzixin said angrily. "Lin Miaomiao, shut up. Where is your expressionless face?" Lin Miaomiao instantly put on his expressionless face again. "Here, look." Yuzixin had a headache. Heilion's foot had already stepped on Aurora's back, making Aurora unable to move. He didn't want to care about Lin Miaomiao, the two-faced guy, anymore. "Speed up and bounce up." Yuzixin imagined the action of escaping in his mind. In perfect unison, Aurora thrust upward with all her might. After bouncing a short distance, she still couldn't deflect Heilion, and instantly plummeted. Before Heilion's foot could catch up, she rolled on the ground and leaped to her feet, finally managing to climb back to her feet. Turning cautiously to face Heilion, Aurora quickly flew to the left when she saw signs of Heilion charging towards her. As they crossed paths, they each attacked once, Aurora using the energy spear from her forehead, while Heilion delivered a simple kick. This time, the energy bullet grazed Heilion's left arm, while Aurora was struck by Heilion's sweeping kick, leaving a small dent in the mecha's pod. The 2 mechas stood still, back to back. "Teacher Yi is mighty and powerful," Liu Kaoyer shouted excitedly. Anyone with a discerning eye could see that Yuzixin had lost. After all, if Yi Hongwen had used all his strength in that final blow, Aurora's pod would have been pierced. Lin Miaomiao's lips curled up slightly. "Yuzixin, can you still move?" Yuzixin coughed when he heard this. He found that he was also exhausted. He could only make an excuse. "I just had some insights. I need to sit on the mecha for a while and comprehend it." "Humph, you are just stubborn," Lin Miaomiao said disdainfully. When a 3rd-level mecha master fights against a 6th-level master, the level suppression is very serious. Lin Miaomiao had overdrawn his physical strength to resist that suppression just now, and Yuzixin could not be an exception. At this time, Yi Hongwen called out again, "Zhu Chen, come and have 2 moves." "Okay." Zhu Chen stepped into the protective shield without hesitation. Lin Miaomiao was about to read the gift when Liu Kaoyer tugged at her sleeve. "What for?" Lin Miaomiao said unhappily. "Don't bother me while I'm studying." Liu Kaoyer smiled ingratiatingly. "I was just saying it's almost 5 o'clock. Didn't you say you'd have a welcoming banquet for Teacher Yi tonight?" Lin Miaomiao was stunned. "It seems so. I'll go get ready first. By the way, please record your fight with Teacher Yi so I can study it later." "Okay." Liu Kaoyer nodded readily. "You have to record your own fight too, otherwise you won't have dinner later," Lin Miaomiao emphasized. Liu Kaoyer, woohoo. Miaomiao is so annoying. How did she know that was my plan? Although she wanted to continue watching the live show, she couldn't go back on her words. Lin Miaomiao could only glance at the 2 mechas fighting each other with nostalgia, and left with regret. After leaving the basement, Lin Miaomiao didn't go into the kitchen first. Instead, she went back to her room and went online to buy some vegetables and exotic beast meat. After logging off the Star Network, Lin Miaomiao was about to go to the kitchen to work when she stumbled upon a pink and purple carved wooden box beside her pillow. She reached for it, having forgotten to open the present. The box wasn't locked, only had a silver clasp. After opening it, it automatically opened, revealing a necklace, a white chain with a purple butterfly crystal pendant. "So beautiful," Lin Miaomiao said, admiring the necklace for a moment. Unfortunately, the necklace she was wearing was a space button, otherwise she would have immediately changed it. Reluctantly, Lin Miaomiao placed the necklace in the box, deciding to store it in her space and take it out to examine it later. But something strange happened. The box wouldn't fit. Lin Miaomiao thought, since the box was undoubtedly wooden, the problem must be with the necklace, so she took it out again to examine it more closely. Then, Lin Miaomiao noticed something strange about the necklace's pendant. It seemed to be made of the same material as the space button on her neck. She immediately understood, it was also a space button. She then probed her spiritual power into the pendant and took a look. She was stunned to discover that the space button was twice the size of the one on her neck. Although every mecha was equipped with a space button, the space was barely enough to fit the mecha and a few small household items. Large space buttons were very valuable. The one on Lin Miaomiao's neck had been bought at an auction by her father at a high price. It covered an area of over 100 square meters. If your elder brother knew she had a better space button, he would surely be jealous for a long time, Lin Miaomiao thought happily, wishing she could video chat with her elder brother right now to show him off. After the joy, Lin Miaomiao hesitated. Why would Yi Hongwen give her such a valuable item? Chapter 91 Welcome Banquet. After agonizing over the necklace for a long time, Lin Miaomiao finally gave up the idea of returning it to Yi Hongwen. With Yi Hongwen's personality, he definitely wouldn't take back a gift he'd given her. Besides, she really liked the necklace. At worst, after I join the Shinryu fleet, I can make him a portion while I'm cooking for Big Brother. Thinking it through, Lin Miaomiao began to check her space for anything. She discovered several large energy-saving refrigerators. She casually opened one, and the once spacious room instantly became overcrowded. Opening it, she found it filled with exotic beast meat. Lin Miaomiao was speechless. If all the refrigerators were full, wouldn't she have plenty of free food? After putting the refrigerators away, Lin Miaomiao patiently took out all of them and inspected them. Finally, she was convinced that Yi Hongwen was a foodie. Of the 7 large refrigerators, 6 were completely full, 1 was half full, and all of it was exotic beast meat. Only the last, smaller refrigerator contained vegetables. Lin Miaomiao now believed Yi Hongwen's promise to cover her meal expenses. Lin Miaomiao excitedly went downstairs to the kitchen. Lolly was counting the ingredients she had just received. Seeing her enter, she hurriedly asked, Master Miaomiao, what do you need to prepare tonight? Lin Miaomiao thought for a moment and made her list. Wash a duck, a carp, half a snow rabbit, a pound of oxtail, 2 pounds of pork belly, 2 pounds of taro. After counting the ingredients, Lolly began preparing them according to Lin Miaomiao's instructions. Lin Miaomiao herself went to the cold storage to transfer some exotic beast meat from the amethyst butterfly dimension. After finally transferring the exotic beast meat from a large refrigerator, and Lolly finished preparing the ingredients, Lin Miaomiao turned on the energy stove and began cooking. She started with a lotus blood duck. She sautéed the chopped duck in oil until the water dried up, then added a little aged glutinous rice wine and soy sauce. Then, she poured in water, added salt, and covered the pot. Simmered until 70% cooked, she added chili peppers, ginger, and garlic. Before serving, pour in the fresh duck blood that she had asked the store for and stir-fry for a few minutes, and then the dish is ready. Lin Miaomiao tasted the spicy and delicious taste, nodded with satisfaction, and placed the dish on an empty table at the side. Just as she was about to continue cooking, she remembered that she was so happy today that she forgot to ask Lolly to cook rice. She was embarrassed and asked Lolly, who was standing aside watching her cook, to work. There are more than 10 people tonight. Cook more rice, okay, Master Miaomiao, don't worry. Lolly was not the first time to cook for so many people, so she naturally knew how much to cook. When the twins and Lin Jingtao came back, Lin Miaomiao had already prepared 5 dishes: lotus blood duck, sweet and sour carp, braised snow rabbit, taro stewed beef brisket, and farmer's stir-fried meat. There were still 3 dishes that had not come out: stir-fried green beans, hot and sour potato shreds, and hand-shredded cabbage. Lin Miaomiao asked Lolly to serve them first and let others eat first. After all the dishes were cooked, Lin Miaomiao came out of the kitchen with a plate of hand-torn cabbage, and was dismayed to find that most of the dishes on the table had been eaten. After being abused for a whole afternoon, everyone no longer took Yi Hongwen seriously. Even Fang Liqin, who called herself a lady, was scrambling to eat. Lin Miaomiao put the dishes in the middle of the table and sat down in an empty seat. Liu Kaoyer then said vaguely, Miaomiao, you are too slow. The dishes are almost eaten up. Lin Miaomiao glanced at her dissatisfiedly and said, you are all starving ghosts. You can eat a lot. If you continue like this, I will charge for the food. Miaomiao, don't be like this, Yu Zixin said with a playful smile, we are good friends. How can we calculate so clearly? Even if there is no shortage of pocket money, it would be strange if you don't eat for free. Lin Miaomiao is a small rich woman. If he doesn't eat hers, whose will he eat? Lin Miaomiao snorted without arguing, grabbing a small bowl of her favorite dish for herself. She couldn't grab the food as quickly as Yu Zixin and the others, so she decided to grab it first. She glanced at Yu Hongwen casually. He was the only one at the table who could maintain an elegant dining posture, yet his speed in picking up food was surprisingly no less impressive. He was truly agile. Miaomiao, this dish is duck, right? It's chopped finely, and it tastes really good, spicy enough, Liu Kaoyer said, her lips reddening from the food, wishing she could just pick up the plate and eat. Feng Liken was not much better. She nodded in agreement while eating. It is indeed delicious. What is the name of this dish? Why haven't I seen you make it before? Lin Miaomiao said casually. That's called lotus blood duck. If you want to make it, you have to ask the store to reserve some fresh duck blood when you buy the ingredients. It's quite troublesome. Liu Kaoyer was curious. Why is it called lotus blood duck? The meat doesn't look like lotus at all. Of course Lin Miaomiao knew why, but she was too lazy to explain. She just said coldly, if you want to know, ask Star Search. I can't even eat enough to win, so how can I have time to explain, everyone? Cough, cough, Lin Jingtao choked on the juice. After he finally recovered his breath, he earnestly educated his cousin, Miaomiao, girls should be subtle when speaking. If you say something like this, people will think you are a foodie, Lin Miaomiao said expressionlessly. I love to eat, and I'm afraid of what others say. Lin Jingtao was speechless. He could only turn to look at Yu Hongwen and smile. I'm not a strict parent. Teacher Yi is laughing at me. As the only girl in the Lin family's generation, Lin Jingtao naturally had to protect her image. Fortunately, Yu Hongwen wasn't a talkative person, and the others were all Lin Miaomiao's close friends, so Lin Jingtao wasn't worried about word getting out. It's just a little thing, Yu Hongwen said unconcerned. Compared to the Lin Miaomiao who used to stare at him all day, now that she could cook and wasn't pretentious, she was much cuter. If her personality hadn't changed so much, Yu Hongwen wouldn't have considered recruiting her into the Shenaiyu fleet, let alone come here just to eat for free. After the welcoming banquet, Yu Hongwen returned to the school guest house, and Yu Zixin and the others also went their separate ways. Without outsiders around, Lin Jingtao asked, what is Teacher Yu doing here? Lin Jingtao wasn't familiar with Yu Hongwen, so he hadn't had the nerve to ask directly. He rarely inquired about military matters, and had no idea of Yu Hongwen's current status. Lin Miaomiao casually said, he's here to recruit, is that so? Lin Jingtao ignored it. He had vaguely heard that Yu Hongwen was from the Central Corps and had come to the school because of a temporary leave of absence. Now he was probably back to his original fleet, so it was normal for him to be sent here to recruit soldiers. Seeing that her cousin didn't ask any more questions, Lin Miaomiao didn't explain further, let alone reveal her choice to join the Shenaiyu fleet. Later, when the Lin family learned that she didn't choose the Suzaku Corps, they couldn't bear to teach her a lesson, but instead beat Lin Jingtao up. However, that was a story for later. Chapter 92 Rules of the Selection Competition. With the arrival of representatives from each corps fleets, the tryouts were scheduled, and the school quickly announced a format. This year's tryouts departed from the usual arena format, combining the selections for the Star Wars Command, Mecha, Card Design, and Manicure departments into a single, open-world survival competition. The survival competition was a free-form team format, with each student independently selecting their own team members, provided they were no more than 12 individuals, all of whom must be seniors. Mecha students participating in the competition were not allowed to bring their own space buttons, mechas, energy cards, weapons, or food. They could only bring a change of clothes and minimal supplies, as the school would distribute space buttons containing a mecha of the same level, 5 level 3 energy cards, and 3 days worth of nutrient solution. The competition would take place in 2 weeks, and the school had not yet announced the location, though it was vaguely known that it would not be on the Miloland planet. Upon receiving the news, Lin Miaomiao and the others gathered to discuss team formation, as usual, at the Lin family villa. This time, 4 classes competed together, forcing everyone to live outdoors for over 2 weeks. They had to not only survive starvation but also gather elixirs and eliminate their opponents. This meant a commander, armorer, and card maker were essential for this mission. Commanding was a minor issue, this was just a tryout, not a Star Wars match. If a suitable commander wasn't available, a quick-witted and strategically minded mech pilot could fill in. However, armorers and card makers proved less effective. Since mechas were capable of combat, damage was inevitable, so an armorer was essential. A card maker was even more crucial. 5 level 3 energy cards wouldn't sustain more than a few battles, and without a card maker, they'd be helpless. Lin Miaomiao spoke first. Do you have any acquaintances in the senior year of the armor department? How can I have any acquaintances? Yu Zixin complained. I don't know what's wrong with this school this year. It's never been like this before, otherwise I would have gone to the armor department to make friends. Shi Aoqian teased. That's not the case. It's boring to have the same routine every year in the selection competition. Besides, young Master Yu, don't you plan to find a dedicated armorer? Yu Zixin disagreed. The armorer is the captain's concern. Once you join the fleet, if the armorer is unreliable, just talk to Teacher Yi. That's true, Zixin, you are too rude, Liu Kaoyer scolded with a smile. Shi Aoqian wanted to make a few jokes, but when he heard Yu Zixin say such words and everyone else's expression as if it was a matter of course, he felt uncomfortable. It turned out that everyone had decided to go to the Shenai fleet and didn't tell him. Turning to look at Lin Miaomiao, he saw that although she still had a blank expression, her eyes were full of ease and comfort. Shi Aoqian's heart sank slightly. It turned out that his unhappiness didn't matter to Miaomiao at all. Feeling uncomfortable, Shi Aoqian stood up abruptly. Seeing that everyone was looking at him in surprise, he could only say dryly, I suddenly remembered that I forgot to do something. I'm leaving first. Shi Aoqian fled from the Lin family villa. Everyone was silent. Everyone could see that he was unhappy. Zhang Xingyan was a little worried. Are we going too far? They were all friends. Everyone had made a choice, but no one reminded Shi Aoqian. It felt a bit too much. Liu Kaoyer and Shi Aoqian often argued, but she also sincerely considered him a friend. She sighed and said, no matter what we say, he won't be happy. If we try to be nice to him, it might even backfire. We might as well goad him a little. Then he'll probably be shameless and follow us again. Okay, it depends on his willingness. Let's just take care of the recruitment first, Lin Miaomiao said expressionlessly. Lin Miaomiao didn't bother to overthink it. She just saw Shi Aoqian as a good friend, with no intention of going beyond friendship, and she didn't want to leave him any room for fantasy. Zhu Chen readily agreed. Why don't we post a post on the campus network to recruit a manicurist? That'll save us from running around all over the place. How can we find a reliable one? Fang Liqin worried. Those with good skills probably just work with people they know. Zhu Chen smiled. It's okay. Just some basic repair skills are enough. Given our abilities, the damage to our mechas shouldn't be too severe, unless we're attacked by a large force. Zhu Chen wasn't worried about a large-scale attack, as the chances of a large-scale attack were slim. Besides, even if they were attacked by a large force, they'd likely be eliminated, so there wouldn't be any need for mech repairs. Yu Zixin had posted the post. They hadn't planned to recruit anyone from the Star Wars Command Department, so the captaincy had been handed to Yu Zixin, making him responsible for recruiting. While that solved the problem of finding a manicurist, the card-making department proved more challenging. A high-level card-making technician was needed to achieve good results. The group discussed it for a long time and finally decided to find someone to connect them. Lin Miaomiao's cousin Lin Yin is now a junior in the card-making department and should know a few capable seniors. However, this matter cannot be rushed. Lin Yin has long been a disciple of the school's only 7th-level card maker. He follows his teacher to learn the art of card making at school every day and will not return to the villa until the evening. If you want to ask him for help, you can only wait until the evening. In just a short while, Yu Zixin has received calls from several senior nail technicians, but none of them are satisfactory. It's not that they dislike their skills, but that they don't like their appearance. This one has too small eyes, that one has too big nose, and some have too many pimples. I say, are you holding a beauty pageant or a nail technician selection? Liu Kaoyer couldn't help complaining. Yu Zixin touched his nose and said, we're going to be together for half a month, right? If we don't find someone we like, we won't be able to get along happily, Lin Miaomiao said with a dull face. Luckily, Zhu Chen's appearance is impeccable, otherwise, with your nitpicking, there's no way he'd get married. Who's nitpicking? His face is obviously a little longer, but I don't care, Yu Zixin retorted without hesitation. Besides, I'm a man, how can I say I'm getting married? Zhu Chen, I sympathize with you, Liu Kaoyer sighed. Sympathy +1, Lin Miaomiao also said. Although the others didn't express their opinions, they still cast sympathetic glances at Zhu Chen, which made Zhu Chen feel a little amused. I say, the topic is off, let's get back to the point, Zhu Chen reminded helplessly. After getting back to the point, Yu Zixin was stripped of his position as the chief examiner, and if someone else sent a video for an interview, Liu Kaoyer would take over. Although Liu Kaoyer was a bit of a fussier, she was more disciplined than Yu Zixin. In less than half an hour, she'd chosen a satisfactory manicurist, albeit one with only a level 3 skill level. This level 3 mecha technician, named Peng Xiao, was a handsome, though somewhat short, male. After Liu Kaoyer made the final decision, Yu Zixin, though picky, ultimately approved. Chapter 93, The Soy Sauce Team. The competition wasn't supposed to start for a few days, so Peng Xiao wasn't in a rush to find his teammates. But he was thrilled. After asking everyone where they were, he rushed to the Lin family villa. Peng Xiao carried all his repair tools with him, and upon arriving, he eagerly asked, "Does anyone need mecha repairs?" "Thank you, we don't. We haven't practiced today," Lin Miaomiao replied. Peng Xiao felt disappointed. "I thought you guys would train when you got together, and I wanted to let you test my skills. You should know how to check wiring and replace parts, right?" Liu Kaoyer asked. Peng Xiao nodded. "Those are the basics, of course you can," Liu Kaoyer breathed a sigh of relief. "As long as you can do those two things, that's all we need. Our requirements are so low, so low." "Are you looking down on me?" Peng Xiao felt strangely unhappy. "You're overthinking it," Lin Miaomiao said, a little speechless. "Low requirements aren't bad. They just show how strong we are. Low requirements mean you look down on me. Although I'm only a level 3 mechanic, my skills are formidable," Peng Xiao said angrily. "Oh, I see," Lin Miaomiao replied. "Why are you so perfunctory?" Peng Xiao felt like crying. "You guys are willing to accept me into the team even though you don't believe in my ability." "That's right," Lin Miaomiao said honestly. "We didn't deliberately pick a great manicurist, you." Peng Xiao seemed to have received a strong malice from the interstellar space. "That's not the case. We rejected many people before choosing you." Zhu Chen tried to smooth things over. "By the way, Miaomiao, why hasn't your cousin come back yet? The card maker hasn't been found yet." "I don't know. He should be back at this time." Lin Miaomiao also found it strange. Liu Kaoyer teased, "Why are you in such a hurry? If you are bored, you can think of a name for our team." Yu Zixin, who had been listless, immediately became energetic. "That's a good idea. We should choose a loud name to show our invincible youth and strong momentum." "Come on, you look so powerful," Liu Kaoyer complained without hesitation. "How am I not powerful?" Yu Zixin said, his handsome face flushing with anger. "You're just jealous." "Nonsense," Liu Kaoyer said, looking like a cat whose tail had been stepped on. "Why would I be jealous of you? What do you have that I should be jealous of?" Zhang Xingyang looked at Liu Kaoyer with pity. The girl, pitiful for being caught in the act, felt so bad. Seeing Liu Kaoyer being bullied, Fang Licken rushed to her aid. "Zixin, don't go too far. Kaoyer isn't jealous of you finding a boyfriend." "Liu Kaoyer, idiot teammates. Everyone, so Kaoyer wants to find a boyfriend." Peng Xiao, weren't they supposed to be mecha experts? Why do they look more and more like psychos? Seeing the situation getting grim, Zhu Chen intervened again. "Alright, the name is just a code name. Just pick something random." Lin Miaomiao nodded vigorously. "We've already chosen our fleet, and going to the trials is just a formality. Why don't we just call it the Showtime Squad?" "I have no objection," Fang Licken said. "I don't mind either," Liu Kaoyer nodded, "as long as it wasn't Yu Zixin who came up with it." "Whatever," Zhang Xingyang didn't care much about the question. He was only concerned, is Kaoyer really jealous that Zixin has a boyfriend? Liu Kaoyer glared at Zhang Xingyang. "You gossipy guy." Zhu Chen felt a headache, and fearing another argument, he decisively said, "Then let's call it the Soy Sauce Squad. Now that the name's chosen, let's get in touch and find a few more members. We have 8 people now, and we still need to reserve the card creator position, which means we're still short 3 people. Shorting only 3 people wasn't a big deal. Everyone thought it would be easy to find the full team. Yu Zixin even promised him he could find 3, so they let him go first. However, Yu Zixin made dozens of calls, only to receive the same response that a team was already in place. Liu Kaoyer immediately mocked him and rushed to contact a friend, only to get the same result as Yu Zixin. Everyone looked at each other, and began to think that it might be difficult to find these three team members. Facts proved that their idea was right. After working for a long time, they didn't even find a single person. There is no mandatory rule to be full. 9 people should be enough, Yu Zixin said hesitantly. That's what you say, but other teams are full, so we are at a disadvantage, Liu Kaoyer sang a different tune. Yu Zixin glared at her. It would be terrible if she agreed with him occasionally. Lin Miaomiao was still flipping through her address book. In the past 2 years, there were many more names in her address book. Unfortunately, she only had Liu Kaoyer and a few other people she was close to. The others were just ordinary friends who she could say hello to when they met, so she didn't make many video calls just now. Suddenly seeing a contact number with a note Little Bunny, Lin Miaomiao's gaze paused. She remembered that the little bunny Zhangqi's family conditions were not very good. She was about to graduate and was still working everywhere. She didn't know if she had found a team. In reality, Lin Miaomiao and Zhangqi had only met a few times, as Zhangqi was often too busy. However, Zhangqi had always admired Lin Miaomiao, even after she had long since stepped down from her pedestal. Why not ask her, Lin Miaomiao thought, remembering the awkwardness of being rejected after several calls. She opted to text her first. Shortly after sending the message, Zhangqi replied, informing her that she hadn't found a team yet and asking what was going on. Relieved, Lin Miaomiao sent the invitation, and then her communicator rang. After connecting via video, Lin Miaomiao noticed Zhangqi's background looked familiar. A closer look revealed it to be Kai Shijia, the clothing store she had once taken her cousin to. So you've been working there part-time? Lin Miaomiao exclaimed. Yes, Zhangqi replied, eagerly asking, Goddess, are you really inviting me to join your team? Lin Miaomiao nodded. Zhangqi laughed excitedly, then hesitated, but I'm only a second-level mecha operator. Will I be a burden to you guys? No, we're just here to make up the numbers. Results are not important, and rankings are even less important, Lin Miaomiao answered seriously. Goddess, you're so kind. Zhangqi was very touched. She felt that Lin Miaomiao's words were purely to comfort her. How could the results of the trials not be important? So she vowed, I will definitely do my best, as long as you're happy. Lin Miaomiao began to wonder if her words were difficult to understand. She was so serious even though she was just here to make up the numbers. After she finished talking, Lin Miaomiao was about to turn off the video call. She was afraid of disturbing Zhangqi's work, but before turning it off, she casually said, if you have classmates who don't have a team yet, you can also pull them over. We still have 2 spots, Zhangqi. She thought the goddess was taking special care of her, but it turned out that she was really short of people. Chapter 94 Wu Na. It was 7 o'clock in the evening when Lin Nianian finally returned to the Lin family villa. Everyone had been chatting for the whole afternoon and was already impatient. They were relieved to see him come back. Nianian, you're back, Lin Miaomiao greeted him warmly. You haven't eaten yet, right? I saved some food for you. Let Lolly bring it out. Lin Nianian was a little uncomfortable. His cousin's service was so thoughtful today that he was a little flattered. Lolly brought the food to the table, and everyone sat down at the table, silently watching Lin Nianian eat. Lin Nianian suddenly felt like he couldn't eat. Well, Xianchen and brother Jingtao haven't come back yet, right? Why don't I wait for them together? Lin Nianian said uncomfortably. No, you eat first, Lin Miaomiao rejected without hesitation. Their portions are still in the safe. Unable to refuse the kindness, Lin Nianian had no choice but to start eating. Facing so many attention, he felt a lot of pressure. After taking a few bites with difficulty, he said with a wry smile, Sister, if you have something to say, just tell me. I will have indigestion if I keep eating like this. Oh, Lin Miaomiao seemed innocent. She didn't do it on purpose. Since her brother asked, she might as well do it. So Lin Miaomiao told him that they needed a card maker and asked him to help connect them. So that's why. Just say it directly. You made it so serious. I thought something big had happened. Lin Nianian breathed a sigh of relief and wanted to eat. Lin Miaomiao was a little depressed when she saw that he didn't ask if he could help. Just now, she was kind enough to let him eat first, but he insisted on talking about business first. As a result, He went to eat after talking about business. What a jerk. Lin Miaomiao's attitude was too much for the impatient Liu Kaier, who demanded, "Little brother Lin, please speak up. Can this be done? I'm not little brother Lin, I'm Xianshan," Lin Miaomiao retorted slowly. Okay, you're not little brother Lin, you're big brother Lin, Liu Kaier quickly corrected. What about the card maker? Lin Miaomiao, bewildered by their strange behavior, was now obsessed with revenge and refused to give in. He ate his meal leisurely, completely ignoring their eagerness. Lin Miaomiao understood what he meant, so she sneered, "Lin Miaomiao, you are itching for trouble, right? If you keep it a secret, I will send a video message to my second uncle later." What? Lin Miaomiao was shocked. "Sister, how can you be like this? How can you be a hero if you only know how to complain?" Lin Miaomiao said calmly, "I'm not a hero, I'm just your sister." Despicable. Lin Miaomiao was defeated. He didn't dare let his sister complain, because the Lin family valued girls over boys. "I'll contact people later." Senior Wu Na shouldn't have a team yet. Senior Wu Na, Liu Kaier said suspiciously. "Is it the Wu Na who is still a second-level card maker?" Lin Miaomiao nodded. "It's her, of course. Although she is only a second-level card maker, Senior Wu Na is very powerful. Is there no one else?" Yu Zixin was a little dissatisfied. He was a man who wanted to kill everyone, and he couldn't have insufficient energy cards. Lin Miaomiao was upset. "Are you still worried about the person I recommended?" Seeing her brother's displeasure, Lin Miaomiao quickly smoothed things over, saying, "Okay, we just think the tryouts are important. And we're a little worried, not that we don't trust you." Pang Xiao was stunned. This was the goddess of the senior mecha department, and she even fooled her own brother. Just a moment ago, they were discussing how to play a supporting role, and now she was claiming to be nervous. However, Pang Xiao secretly complained but dared not complain aloud. Lin Miaomiao, naturally unaware of being tricked, simply said cheerfully, "Then I'll ask her if she's free now." After the video call was sent, Wu Na readily agreed and decided to come for the interview. After receiving the answer, everyone left Lin Miaomiao and moved to the living room. Wu Na didn't come empty-handed. She also brought a stack of energy cards and a small energy detector, saying that she wanted everyone to check if the energy cards she made were up to standard. Lin Miaomiao usually used energy cards prepared by Lin Yuhei. She used whatever card she got, regardless of how much energy was in it. Aoxu would alert her if she ran low, so she hadn't used an energy meter yet. The small energy meter, about the size of an adult man's palm, was a flat rectangular block with a slot in the middle. Simply inserting an energy card displayed its energy value. Curious, Lin Miaomiao took a few energy cards made by Wu Na and tested them. The energy values all hovered around 9,500 trillion. She was a little surprised. "You brought them here after testing? How could that be? I wouldn't do such a thing," Wu Na raged, feeling her integrity was being questioned. Lin Miaomiao fell silent. It wasn't surprising she was suspicious. Card making by a card maker involves significant uncertainty, and it's rare for cards to maintain consistent values. If those cards hadn't been chosen, Wu Na's card-making skills would have truly been as advanced as Miaomiao claimed, completely compensating for her shortcomings. Lin Miaomiao fell silent, leaving Liu Kaier to clean up the mess. "Don't get excited. We're not questioning you. We just think your card-making skills are superb." "That's more like it," Wu Na said proudly. "If she questions my character, even if she's a recognized goddess, I won't forgive her," Yu Zixin said casually. "Don't worry. She's not a goddess, she's a bitch. Even if she questions you, it doesn't count." Lin Miaomiao, wasn't he just complaining about her low level? Why is he helping her now? Regardless, calling her a bitch is really outrageous. If there weren't strangers present, Lin Miaomiao would have definitely taught him a lesson. She'd made a note of this. Lin Miaomiao's suspicion still caught Wu Na's attention. To prove she wasn't lying, she took out a blank card and began to create an energy card on the spot. Holding the blank card horizontally in front of her eyes, Wu Na closed her eyes and concentrated on imagining the pattern she would draw on it. A flowing golden light gradually appeared on the black card. "It's really fast," Yu Zixin praised in her low voice. He had seen the speed of other card makers making cards, and it was impossible for them to produce smooth light so quickly. 10 minutes later, Wu Na's energy card was successfully made. She casually put the card into the detector. The value on the small screen jumped wildly, and it didn't stop until it reached 9,978. Lin Miaomiao looked at it and decisively stretched out her right hand towards Wu Na. "Welcome to join the soy sauce group." Wu Na looked at Lin Miaomiao's hand in confusion. She didn't understand what this meant. Was it a new way to express welcome? In her excitement, Lin Miaomiao forgot that there was no etiquette of shaking hands here. She could only shamelessly grab Wu Na's hand and shake it, explaining casually, "This is the etiquette of the ancients to express welcome." Chapter 95. The principal is too gossipy. The day before the tryouts, Lin Miaomiao remembered that they still had to register their team name and members with the principal, or they would be deemed to have given up their participation. She urged Yu Zixin to register, but he refused. "I'm embarrassed to register with such a shameful team name," he said. "You go." Lin Miaomiao gave him a sidelong glance. "But you're the captain." Yu Zixin remained unmoved. "But I didn't come up with a name. Whoever came up with it can go. At worst, I can just quit." Lin Miaomiao was at her wit's end. Yu Zixin had been forced into the position of captain in the first place, and she couldn't let him give up over such a trivial matter. Seeing Yu Zixin push the envelope, the others turned their backs on him. Even Zhang Kik and her two friends shyly looked away, leaving Lin Miaomiao helpless. "Kik," Lin Miaomiao nodded to her little fan with a last glimmer of hope. "Why don't you go to the principal's office to register, me?" Zhang Kik shook her head like a rattle. "No, I don't dare go," Lin Miaomiao pressed. "Why?" Zhang Kik replied, "The principal is too fierce." "I'm afraid." Well, Lin Miaomiao felt that she couldn't blame Zhang Kik for not wanting to help. She could only blame the principal for wanting to join in the fun and personally get involved in the registration. With no one to help, Lin Miaomiao had to go alone. Now she felt a little regretful. She should have known better and not rushed to get a name, giving those guys an excuse to shirk responsibility. Lin Miaomiao slowly walked to the principal's office and found it deserted. She realized that everyone who needed to register had already registered and she was a little late. Fortunately, the registration deadline was 6 o'clock that night. "Principal, I'm here to register," Lin Miaomiao said straight to the point. Fang Dongqing glanced at her and couldn't help but mutter, "Why is it that expressionless face you still have? I heard your personality has changed a lot." As for who had heard it, the principal himself wasn't sure. Word had already spread around campus, and he'd only overheard it during a surprise inspection of students' attendance. A vein instantly bulged on Lin Miaomiao's forehead. Was it really okay for a principal to be so gossipy? Fortunately, the principal quickly realized his mistake and quickly made amends. Lin Miaomiao, did you say you were here to register?" Lin Miaomiao nodded. "Yes, here's our team name and roster." After handing the printed list to the principal, Lin Miaomiao fell silent, watching him quietly as he registered. "The soy sauce team," Fang Dongqing frowned. "That name is so corny. The team members are Yu Zixin, Zhu Chen. I was wondering if there were a lot of outstanding students who didn't register this year. Oh, why aren't there any students from the command department? The team leader is Yu Zixin. The principal really loves to nag. No wonder no one wants to come," Lin Miaomiao thought. Although Fang Dongqing was a bit nagging, he was still quite quick at registration. It took only a few minutes, and he handed Lin Miaomiao a small, jet black wooden sign with the number 67 on it. "Okay, tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock, meet at the school gate promptly with your sign. And remember to read the rules. You can bring a change of clothes and daily necessities, but mechas, energy cards, speeders, space buttons, and the like are strictly prohibited," Fang Dongqing instructed. Lin Miaomiao then asked, "What about pots, pans, and seasonings? Does the rules prohibit that?" Fang Dongqing didn't directly answer. Lin Miaomiao understood. Not only did the rules not prohibit it, they also stated that some daily necessities were allowed. So, 2 small tents and 2 energy lamps would be fine. Energy cards weren't allowed, but empty cards were allowed, so she had to bring more. "I understand. Thank you, Principal," Lin Miaomiao said with a sullen expression. "You're welcome. Is there anything else, Lin?" Fang Dongqing was about to see him off. Looking at his sullen face gave him a toothache. "No," Lin Miaomiao said flatly. "I'll be leaving first then." Lin Miaomiao turned to go back, but was stopped by the principal. "Hey, Lin, wait a minute," Fang Dongqing called out eagerly. "I have something else to ask you." Lin Miaomiao's first reaction was that the principal was going to ask about their fleet selection, so she calmly waited. She had anticipated this and had her answer ready. But she waited for a long time, and Fang Dongqing remained silent. It wasn't until Lin Miaomiao couldn't help but urge him that Fang Dongqing, blushing, spoke up. I heard Zuchen and Yu Zixin are together. Lin Miaomiao was embarrassed. Her preparedness was completely in vain. The principal just wanted to get some gossip. Not understanding what the principal meant, Lin Miaomiao could only answer carefully, they have feelings for each other. They didn't break the ice before because they were afraid it would affect their studies. Now they are together as they are about to graduate. After getting a positive answer, Fang Dongqing shook her head with some regret and sighed. What a pity. Lin Miaomiao raised her eyebrows. She didn't understand what the principal meant by what a pity, so she asked with feigned curiosity, what a pity. It's a pity that Zuchen is so outstanding, but he can't be my son-in-law. He got it for nothing from that brat Yu Zixin. Fang Dongqing's face was full of regret. He really had high hopes for Zuchen. Lin Miaomiao secretly felt lucky. Fortunately, it wasn't Yu Zixin who came to register, otherwise the principal's desk would be in danger. If anyone dared to covet his man, Yu Zixin would not care about the principal's face. The principal will definitely find a more outstanding young man to be his son-in-law. Lin Miaomiao consoled him insincerely. Thanks for your good wishes. Fang Dongqing smiled brightly upon hearing this. Actually, Yi Hongwan is not bad, but he always has a sullen face, which is annoying. He's also a bit old. I wonder if my daughter would like him. As soon as he said this, Fang Dongqing regretted it. Wasn't the person standing in front of him also wearing a sullen face? He didn't mean to be sarcastic. Lin Miaomiao didn't care about the principal's next words at all. She just found it funny. Choosing a son-in-law is not like choosing carrots and cabbages. How could he get what he wanted just by picking the right one? These things didn't matter to Lin Miaomiao. She didn't know how to respond, so she could only remain silent. Fang Dongqing waited for a long time but didn't hear any suggestions from Lin Miaomiao. She was about to curse him as an idiot, but then she remembered the private fight between Lin Miaomiao and Yi Hongwan 2 years ago. Wasn't the fuse behind that incident? She felt a little annoyed. He shouldn't have discussed these trivial matters with the students. Most importantly, if he remembered correctly, one of the files Yi Hongwan had moved belonged to Lin Miaomiao. Graduates' files couldn't be moved casually. They had to obtain the student's consent and sign a letter of intent to enlist. With this in mind, Fang Dongqing waved his hand rather mournfully. It's okay, you can go back now. Lin Miaomiao readily agreed. Goodbye, principal. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 96, The Skill of Seducing Men. After leaving the principal's office, Lin Miaomiao exaggeratedly wiped the non-existent cold sweat from her head. She hadn't expected that she would be pulled aside by the principal to chat about gossip just for registering, even though they were not familiar with each other. Wrinkling her nose, Lin Miaomiao decided to go back and make fun of Yu Zixin to compensate for the mental loss of coming here. As soon as she wandered to the elevator, it opened automatically, and then Lin Miaomiao saw an unpleasant person walking out. The person was also surprised to see Lin Miaomiao, and couldn't help but question, "What are you doing here?" Lin Miaomiao replied expressionlessly, "Student Ji Ziyan, have you forgotten that the selection competition is about to start? Of course I'm here to register." To be honest, Lin Miaomiao felt speechless now. This was a public place, not Ji Ziyan's home. What kind of questioning tone was this? On the other hand, Ji Ziyan couldn't participate in the selection competition, so what was the meaning of her appearing here for no reason? Suddenly remembering Ji Ziyan's harsh words from a few days ago, Lin Miaomiao pondered, fearing she might be planning something. Of course I know, Ji Ziyan's eyes flashed. She'd forgotten her reason for coming here in her haste, fearing Lin Miaomiao would discover it. But she refused to admit it, so she made up a pretext. "I'm just curious why you came here in person. Did your admirers volunteer to help?" The mention of admirers brought to mind Xiaoqian, and a wave of annoyance washed over her. She said impatiently, "What admirers? I haven't heard of them. Classmate Ji has so many admirers. Do you think they were all as charming as you?" The remark was meant to be sarcastic, but Ji Ziyan didn't hear it. She thought Lin Miaomiao was envious, and for a moment, she smiled charmingly. Lin Miaomiao found this amusing, too. Not wanting to continue the discussion, she turned and was about to leave, but Ji Ziyin wasn't willing to let her go. "Student Lin, you are not bad looking, but you need to work on your temper," Ji Ziyin said with a delicate smile covering her mouth. "Being too aloof will make men dislike you. Don't worry about that. As a mecha pilot, I don't make a living by pleasing men like some people." Lin Miaomiao wanted to roll her eyes. She really couldn't like someone like Ji Ziyin. Anyway, they had already fallen out, so Lin Miaomiao was no longer polite. Although she didn't mention anyone by name, the actual ridicule still made Ji Ziyin's face turn blue. "What do you mean? Who makes a living by pleasing men? Stop slandering me here." Ji Ziyin was furious and wanted to go up and tear Lin Miaomiao's mouth. "It's you," Lin Miaomiao said without hesitation. "You've already identified yourself. Who else could it be?" Ji Ziyin screamed. "Nonsense. I clearly relied on my own abilities, my ability to seduce men," Lin Miaomiao retorted, then felt a little foolish for arguing with someone like Ji Ziyin in public. Without waiting for Ji Ziyin to explode, she turned and slipped into the elevator and left. This floor not only housed the principal's office, but also the archives and senior professors' offices. While the flow of people was sparse, it was not uncommon. Ji Ziyin noticed several passers-by pointing and talking at her, and teachers glaring at her with sullen faces, which made her feel very embarrassed. Ji Ziyin couldn't help but stamp her foot. "Lin Miaomiao, I'll let you be proud for a few days. I wonder if you can still smile after the selection competition is over." Ji Ziyin had originally planned to go to the archives to ask Li Kanglei how things were going, but going in with so much public attention would be too conspicuous. Once the truth came out, everyone would surely guess what had happened. She didn't dare take the risk and could only return home in anger. As she boarded the flying car, Ji Ziyin felt increasingly resigned. She suddenly felt that sending Lin Miaomiao to the Shenyu fleet wasn't a good idea. While the Shenyu fleet was shabby, with Yi Hongwen there, Lin Miaomiao might not be reluctant. She might as well switch to the Luojia fleet, which was on par with the Shenyu fleet. This class was unlucky. Not only had the school changed the rules, but the military had also acted out of turn. The two shabby fleets, the Luojia fleet of the Azure Dragon Corps and the Shenyu fleet of the Central Corps, had unexpectedly been granted admission to universities this year. Ji Ziyin hung up the video call with Li Kanglei and eagerly asked, "Is it done? Have their files been transferred?" Li Kanglei, a chubby man in his 30s who looked like he was over 40, was taken aback by Ji Ziyin's question. Then he smiled and said, "It's done. 6 people's files have been transferred to the Shenyu fleet." 6? Shouldn't there be 7? Ji Ziyin asked in surprise. "Who didn't get transferred?" "The one from the Shu family," Li Kanglei replied. "That's fine, he didn't go. By the way, can we transfer Lin Miaomiao back and reassign her to another fleet?" Ji Ziyin asked. "No," Li Kanglei blurted out. "She's already been transferred to the Shenyu fleet. How can we keep moving her around?" Ji Ziyin was disappointed. "You could do it once, why not a second time?" Li Kanglei's face darkened. "I said no, and it's no. Once she's transferred, the fleet seal will be affixed. How can we change her again?" Li Kanglei hadn't explained the real reason was important, and even though he was in charge, he didn't dare tamper with it. Ji Ziyin had come to him, and it would be a fool not to take advantage of her. But tampering with her file was impossible. The school's rules were strict. If he got caught, he would not only lose his job but also spend 3 to 5 years in interstellar prison. Was he that stupid? At first, Ji Ziyin didn't dare to reveal her purpose, and Li Kanglei really took advantage. Later, she made a request, but Li Kanglei felt sorry for the beauty who had come to his doorstep and was about to escape, so he decided to delay for a few days and find an excuse to refuse. Perhaps God also felt sorry for Li Kanglei, because not long after Ji Ziyin made a request, Yi Hongwen came to the archives with the volunteers of Lin Miaomiao and others to retrieve the files. After completing the procedures, he took the files away on the spot. Li Kanglei thought this was a good opportunity. After all, Ji Ziyin just wanted to send these people to the Shenyu fleet. It didn't matter who transferred them. As long as Ji Ziyin believed that he was the one who did it, it was enough. Now Ji Ziyin had a new idea, and Li Kanglei naturally refused to agree. Seeing Li Kanglei's blunt refusal, Ji Ziyin was filled with resentment, but it was difficult to turn hostile directly, so she could only force a smile and say, "In that case, I won't force you. By the way, I have something else to do. So I'll hang up the video first." Without waiting for Li Kanglei to say anything, Ji Ziyan ended the video call. Since this fat guy couldn't help her, there was no need to bother with him anymore. Lin Miaomiao, Ji Ziyan recited each word slowly. "I was careless and sent you to Yihongwen. This time, you got away with it. I just hope you'll be even more annoying in the future." Chapter 97 Red eyes are a disease. Participants in the tryouts were not allowed to bring flying cars or space buttons, so Lin Miaomiao left her space button at home and asked Lolly to take her to the school gate. Lin Miaomiao arrived a little late, and many classmates were already standing at the school gate. Lin Miaomiao, carrying a large backpack and carrying pots and pans, immediately attracted onlookers. Liu Kaoyer squeezed out of the crowd and said in surprise, "Miaomiao, you really brought a pot with you?" "Of course," Lin Miaomiao replied, then looked around, but couldn't find anyone else, so she looked at Liu Kaoyer in confusion. Liu Kaoyer hurriedly pointed outside the school gate and said, "They think there are too many people here, so they are standing outside. I came in to find you. Are we going out too?" Lin Miaomiao thought for a moment and said, "Forget it, it's almost time to start. Let them come over, it won't be crowded for a while, then I'll go and call them," Liu Kaoyer said. Not long after Liu Kaoyer left, classmates came over to say hello, and Lin Miaomiao responded politely. 2 years have eased the relationship between Lin Miaomiao and her classmates a lot, so after greeting each other, some classmates are willing to chat with Lin Miaomiao and ask about their respective team situations. Because they got along well with each other, someone jokingly asked about the pots and pans. "Miaomiao, are you planning to cook by bringing a pot to the audition?" "Yes," Lin Miaomiao replied, "the nutritional supplements will definitely not be enough, and I can't always rely on fruits to fill my stomach then." "That's right, I should have brought a pot earlier," Ji Ting said. "Miaomiao is more careful." "That's right," Zhou Qin followed with praise. "Otherwise, why do people say Miaomiao is smart? She thought of things that no one else thought of." Lin Miaomiao was about to say a few humble words, but Zhu Pinting, who was standing not far away, rushed to say, "I heard that Lin Miaomiao is a great cook. And Teacher Jin often goes to her house to eat." I guess Teacher Jin revealed it unintentionally. After Lin Miaomiao turned over a new leaf 2 years ago, her relationship with her classmates eased, but Zhu Pinting suffered from frequent jealousy. Whenever a classmate praised Lin Miaomiao, she would sneer and accuse the other party of clinging to the powerful. Over time, the classmates alienated her. Zhu Pingting's team was a hastily assembled one, its members all too unpopular to find a team. Zhu Pingting was ashamed of her fate and firmly resented Lin Miaomiao. She believed that if Lin Miaomiao hadn't suddenly changed her ways, she wouldn't have been constantly jealous and snarky, her classmates wouldn't have distanced themselves from her, and she wouldn't have been unable to find a team during the tryouts. Therefore, all of this was Lin Miaomiao's fault, and she had legitimate reason to resent her. To Lin Miaomiao, Zhu Pingting's provocative words were completely insignificant, so she simply said, "If you say so, then so." Lin Miaomiao, unwilling to engage in a dispute during the tryouts, tried to settle the matter peacefully, but Zhu Pingting assumed she was guilty, and her arrogance only intensified. Zhu Pingting's voice rose several degrees, and she demanded sharply, "Lin Miaomiao, you're so selfish. Since you got the tip from Teacher Jin, why didn't you share it with your classmates?" The surroundings instantly fell silent. And everyone looked at Zhu Pingting and Lin Miaomiao, wanting to know what had happened. Lin Miaomiao frowned. It seemed that such a person could not be tolerated at all. However, since she had attracted everyone's attention, she had to explain. "You misunderstood," Lin Miaomiao said indifferently. "I figured it out on my own. The rules state that only 3 days' worth of nutrients are distributed. I'm too delicate and afraid of going hungry, so I had to bring my own pot." "An excuse," Zhu Pingting sneered. "You just admitted it. I just said you can think whatever you want, but the facts can't be changed by your own thoughts," Lin Miaomiao said impatiently. "I say, can you please stop bothering me all the time? I don't have any grudge against you, right?" Lin Miaomiao had long known that Zhu Pingting liked to pick on her, but she didn't quite understand why. She hadn't said anything before because they hadn't confronted her directly. Now that Zhu Pingting was directly challenging her, no matter how good her temper was, she couldn't stand it. Zhu Pingting didn't expect Lin Miaomiao to ask such a question in public. For a moment, She was stunned and couldn't answer. However, Zhu Bingting was stunned, which did not mean that others were stunned as well. If she didn't say it, someone would help her say it. There is no hatred at all. It's just because everyone likes you, and the teacher likes you too, so they are jealously eager. Don't talk nonsense. Zhu Bingting stomped her feet and said unhappily, I'm not worse than her. Why should I be jealous of her, really? Then why do you target her for no reason? Liu Kaoye rolled her eyes at Zhu Bingting. Some things everyone knows in their hearts, but they just don't want to say it, so as not to be embarrassed when they meet every day. Now we are about to graduate, who have still indulged your bad habit, Fang Lican said. Jealousy is a disease and must be treated. Liu Kaoye smiled. She is already a late-stage patient of jealousy and has given up treatment long ago. You? Zhu Bingting was so angry that she burst into tears. It was not like this before. They never refuted her, otherwise how could she dare to cause trouble for Lin Miaomiao so blatantly? It wasn't the first time she had ridiculed Lin Miaomiao in the past 2 years. Since she had endured it for so long, why not continue to endure it? Lin Miaomiao must have done it on purpose. Lin Miaomiao watched Zhu Bingting's behavior with cold eyes. She knew that she had accused herself of something again, but the time was almost up, and she didn't want to get attention for making trouble right at the beginning. Kaoye, Lican, forget it. Today is the first day of the tryouts. Let's not embarrass everyone because of this matter, Lin Miaomiao said. Liu Kaoye and Feng Lican had originally stood up for Lin Miaomiao, but when they saw that the real owner didn't want to pursue the matter anymore, they could only shut up with regret. Seeing that the matter had calmed down, the other members of this soy sauce team also gathered around. Everyone was carrying a small backpack, and Zhuang Xingyan and Zhu Chen were holding a tent in their hands. Because of the farce just now, no one asked about the tents anymore. They just secretly regretted that they were inexperienced and didn't know how to prepare some practical things. Only Zhu Bingting hadn't learned her lesson. After her tears stopped, she started to show off again. You are the only ones who like to show off. First it was the pots and pans, and now it's the tent. You have to show off. You have to show off the tent you bought to Lin Miaomiao. But when Zhu Bingting said that, he immediately refused and scolded. Why are you involved in everything? You are even jealous of the tent. Otherwise, after the selection, this tent will be left to you as an heirloom. Puchy. Everyone who heard it laughed, and someone even said jokingly, Master Yu is rich, why don't you give a tent to everyone present? No, Yu Zixin flatly refused. Master, I'm a little poor recently. If I give everyone a tent, I will have to beg for food. Everyone laughed. Chapter 98 Special Small Underwear. When Fang Dongqing arrived with the vice principal, the dean of studies, and the class teachers, they were greeted by this joyful scene. Fang Dongqing was pleased to say, they're all bright and energetic students. They're not nervous at all at this moment. A teacher who had arrived earlier wanted to complain that these outstanding students had just been watching someone quarrel. Everyone, be quiet, Fang Dongqing called out. It's already 8 o'clock. Students, line up and go into the guardhouse to get your space buttons. The school's guardhouse was only 50 square meters, but it had 2 doors, one inside and one outside. A security gate had been installed at the outside entrance to check for space items. Anyone carrying space items would sound an alarm. Some students' faces turned grim. With the advancement of space technology these days, space can be made into any shape. Even the most inconspicuous button on a garment could be a space button. Anyone who could afford it could buy one. While most students at the school were honest, there were always some who tried to cheat, thinking that since this was the first time the competition was being held, the rules wouldn't be strict. Before long, the teacher standing by the security checkpoint had a dozen or so strange space buttons in her hands, including hairpins, buttons, zippers, and even anklets hidden in shoes. Lin Miaomiao passed through successfully and received a space button about 100 square meters in size. Inside, there was indeed a level 3 mecha and 3 days worth of nutritional supplements. She tossed in her own belongings as well. Hey, Miaomiao, look, Liu Kaoye suddenly poked her, gloating. Zhu Bingting has been humiliated this time. Lin Miaomiao looked up and saw Zhu Bingting being stopped by the female teacher at the security checkpoint to check which of her items were space items. After a long inspection, the female teacher's small detector detected Zhu Bingting's chest, but she didn't wear anything like a necklace there. Teacher, is there something wrong with the detector? Zhu Bingting said pitifully, not daring to speak rudely to the teacher. The female teacher snorted coldly, everyone else has checked it out. but you made a mistake by not being able to find it. I think you should hand it over quickly and don't waste everyone's time, but I really don't have anything hidden here. If you don't believe me, you can take me to the locker room to check." Zhu Pingting looked aggrieved, but she was very proud in her heart. This space was specially customized, and no one could guess what it was. As expected, the female teacher took Zhu Pingting to the locker room for inspection. When she came out, her face was very gloomy. Zhu Pingting really didn't have anything on her. There were not even buttons or decorations on her clothes. After reporting to the principal, several teachers gathered to discuss how to deal with it. Fang Dongqing's face was not very good. Such a mistake had occurred in the first selection competition. It would be bad if she didn't put it in, but if she did, she was afraid that she would really bring the space button in, which would be unfair to other students. Liu Kaoyer was feeling a bit frustrated. Several detectors are going off. They can't all be broken. Where on earth did Zhu Pingting go? Lin Miaomiao was speechless. Why had everyone overlooked something so obvious? Seeing Zhu Pingting's face aggrieved but hidden smugness in her eyes, Lin Miaomiao felt annoyed too. Since Zhu Pingting was always bothering her, she had to return the favor, right? So Lin Miaomiao stepped forward and suggested coldly, "Have Zhu Pingting change her clothes and try again." Maybe her clothes touched the space button and picked up the space information. Zhu Pingting's face paled. She wanted to scold Lin Miaomiao for meddling, but she didn't dare to do so in front of the principal and the others. She could only glare at her fiercely. No one present was stupid. How could space information get on clothes? Unless there was something wrong with the clothes themselves, and that thin school uniform jacket couldn't be the problem, then it must be the underwear. The female teacher who had just checked said to Zhu Pingting rudely, "You, come with me to change clothes." Zhu Pingting was unhappy but didn't dare to refuse. She could only curse Lin Miaomiao in her heart and reluctantly followed the female teacher to change clothes. The female teacher was also a wonderful person. She watched Zhu Pingting change clothes the whole time. This time she didn't care about any private clothes. She also checked the underwear she took off, and then the detector sounded. The female teacher was angry that Zhu Pingting refused to admit it at first, so she didn't give her face. She put the underwear in a small bag and left the locker room. She went straight to the principal and shouted, "Principal, I found it, it's hidden in my underwear." Zhu Pingting, who followed her out, blushed so much that she was about to bleed. Although it was open now, it was not a good thing to have her underwear held by the teacher for everyone to see, not to mention that she had done something wrong. Fang Dongqing, already prepared, cleared his throat and said, "Teacher, you, put it away first. Now that we've found it, let's continue the inspection." "Okay, teacher," Yu agreed, glancing at Zhu Pingting. "Then what should we do with the student?" Although the space button had been detected earlier, the students, upon hearing the alarm, had obediently taken out their belongings. Only Zhu Pingting, relying on her concealment, claimed the detector was broken. Such behavior would not be tolerated. Fang Dongqing dismissed it, saying, "Let her be. She's graduating soon anyway, and she's responsible for her own life." Although representatives from the various fleets were not present for the pre-race inspection, several all-around surveillance cameras had been installed at the gate, broadcasting the footage simultaneously to the school guest house. Zhu Pingting's words and actions were likely seen by the representatives. Initially, Zhu Pingting was a little nervous, fearing she would be disqualified, but she felt relieved upon hearing this. However, her relief was premature, as Fang Dongqing had something else to say. Zhu Pingting, who thought she was fine, also came over with her things and snorted coldly at Lin Miaomiao. "Someone thinks he is noble, but he just likes to tell tales. It's a pity that I am safe and sound, and I have been made the villain." Lin Miaomiao glanced at Zhu Pingting indifferently, stopped Liu Kaoyer who wanted to fight back, and said calmly, "Everyone knows who the villain is, and whether you are safe or not, we will know after the selection competition is over." Liu Kaoyer also calmed down, wrinkled her nose and said to Zhu Pingting, "Get away from here. I don't want to stand with someone like you who does bad things and refuses to admit it." Zhu Pingting's eyes turned red with anger. She turned around and saw that the classmates around her were staring at her strangely. Her heart skipped a beat. She didn't dare to make trouble anymore. She just found her teammates and stood over. In the video room of the school guest house, a captain's representative pointed at Zhu Pingting with disdain and said, "With such a character, if she is recruited into the fleet, she will probably lead the team members astray." The other fleet representatives nodded in agreement, and someone pointed at Lin Miaomiao and said, This girl is quite interesting. She is careful, observant, and not afraid of things. I wonder how good her mecha operating skills are. Different departments have different school uniforms, so you can tell which department the students are from the color of their clothes. Chapter 99 Dawn School Ship. With Zhu Pingting's example in mind, the subsequent tests went smoothly. Students with space buttons obediently handed them in before even going through the inspection gate, and the alarm stopped sounding. After the tests, Feng Dongqing and the others led the participating students to the small starship landing site on campus and boarded the school's flagship, the Dawn. The Dawn was a large warship, specifically used for transporting faculty and students for intergalactic competitions. It was equipped with ample firepower and a complete training room. Due to the large number of people, each team was only assigned 3 rooms. The soy sauce team had 12 members, but 7 were girls, leaving only 5 boys to share a room. Wu Na chose to room with Zhang Kik and the other 2, while Lin Miaomiao, Liu Galir, and Feng Liken shared a room. The rooms were rectangular, only 20 square meters in size. A 1-meter-high platform was built into the inner half of the room, serving as a bed. The platform was hollow, and the side not facing the wall was made of movable steel cabinet doors, which contained bedding and other items. The room was otherwise empty, with only a square table and 4 stools. How shabby, Liu Galir lamented. Feng Liken scoffed, it's just temporary lodgings. Miss Galir, do you expect something grand? Liu Galir, irritated, stretched out her claws at Feng Liken. You idiot girl. How dare you laugh at me? I'll tickle you. Feng Liken, far from standing still, dodged with a smile. Relentless, Liu Galir chased after her, and the two began to playfully clash. Childish, Lin Miaomiao grumbled, ignoring them as she opened the closet door, pulled out the blankets, and prepared to make the bed. Only when the bed was almost made did Liu Galir and Feng Liken finally stop arguing. Embarrassed by Lin Miaomiao's actions, they hurried over to pull her away. Let's do this. You go and rest. Lin Miaomiao didn't refuse, but slowly walked over to the table and sat down. The bed was almost made, and Liu Galir and Feng Liken quickly finished the rest and joined them. It's just inconvenient being on board. Even to use the restroom, you have to leave your room, Liu Galir lamented. I don't know which star system we're going to, or how long we'll be on board, Lin Miaomiao casually replied. It's just a school tryout, it shouldn't be too far. Liu Galir and Feng Liken agreed, and they put the issue aside. Having no tea or water in the room was inconvenient, so Feng Liken dug out a large teapot from the cabinet under the bed and prepared to fill it up in the pantry. Lin Miaomiao had been excited about the thought of traveling to another planet on a spaceship last night, and hadn't slept well. Now aboard, she felt sleepy and climbed into bed to catch up on some sleep. She'd specifically asked them not to wake her up for lunch. When she woke up, it was already past 4 in the afternoon. Liu Galir and Feng Liken were both gone, probably bored and out playing. Lin Miaomiao didn't mind, instead considering whether to go out and find something to eat. Lin Miaomiao vaguely remembered the teacher saying the restaurant was on the 3rd floor of the spaceship, but she wasn't sure if there was anything to eat at that hour, so she decided to go check it out. After going out, Lin Miaomiao went straight to the stairs. The corridor was very quiet and she didn't run into anyone along the way. When she went down to the 3rd floor, Lin Miaomiao found that the restaurant was very lively. The classmates were sitting there in groups of 3 or 5 chatting. Lin Miaomiao looked around and found the other members of the soy sauce team and hurried over. As soon as Lin Miaomiao came over, Xiaoqian's eyes lit up, and he stood up and greeted her enthusiastically. Miaomiao, you are awake. Come and sit down. You must be hungry because you didn't have lunch. I'll get you something to eat. Lin Miaomiao opened her mouth to refuse, but Xiaoqian didn't give her a chance to refuse. He ran to the snack window in a flash. Liu Galir said in disbelief, is he asking for money the wrong medicine? I've never seen him so attentive before. It's not because you were rejected that you started to be attentive because you thought you didn't do well enough before, Feng Liken said coldly. To be honest, Feng Liken actually couldn't stand Xiaoqian. He kept saying that he liked Miaomiao, but he never did anything for Miaomiao, let alone gave her a gift. Miaomiao didn't lack anything, but giving her a gift was also a token of his thought, wasn't it? Feng Liken was a girl herself, so she naturally understood what girls were thinking. Even though it was not popular to receive gifts now, she was still very happy when an admirer gave her a gift. Yu Zixin hurriedly defended Xiaoqian, It's just that Xiaoqian was not smart enough before and didn't know how to please girls. It will be better in the future, Liu Kaoyer said unhappily. Miaomiao refused. And you're still talking about the future? Yu Zixin was embarrassed. Although he didn't think highly of Xiaoqian, Miaomiao was still single, so it wouldn't be wrong for Yaoqian to try. Not long after, Xiaoqian came back with 2 pieces of cream cake and a cup of chocolate milk tea. When he placed them in front of Lin Miaomiao, he smiled and said, "There's no food at this time, so just eat some cake." Lin Miaomiao looked at the cake but didn't want to eat it. She always hated these sweet things. But if she didn't eat it, Xiaoqian might think that she was not giving him face, which would be a bit embarrassing. Feng Licken silently got up and went to buy a plate of mung bean cakes and a cup of plain soy milk. She placed the soy milk and mung bean cakes in front of Lin Miaomiao, handed the cake to Liu Kaoyer, and kept the coffee for herself. Lin Miaomiao looked at Feng Licken gratefully, lowered her head and started to eat in small bites. Xiaoqian's face immediately turned a lot paler. Yu Zixin looked at Xiaoqian sympathetically but didn't say anything. It's not that he didn't want to help his brother, but Xiaoqian was too disappointing. He had liked someone for 2 years, but he didn't even know what the other person didn't like to eat. He even doubted whether Xiaoqian was sincere. By the time Lin Miaomiao finished eating the mung bean cake, her stomach was half full, and she didn't go shopping anymore, as she would have dinner soon. Seeing that she had finished eating, Liu Kaoyer said excitedly, "Miaomiao, do you know that we are going to Yalan Star, the new star that has not yet been fully developed?" Yalan Star? Lin Miaomiao was surprised. "I remember the Interstellar Express said that Yalan Star is in the border star field, which is very far from Milolan. It takes several days to get there." "Yeah," Liu Kaoyer nodded. "I don't know what the school is thinking. That planet is not fully developed yet. And I don't know if it will be dangerous." Zhu Chen smiled gently. "If the school dares to take us there shouldn't be any danger. It's just that it's a new star, and there may be some animals and plants that we haven't seen before." Lin Miaomiao thought about it and felt that this guess was more reliable. Zhu Chen is right. When the time comes, we must see if we can find any edible animals and plants that we don't recognize. Everyone nodded in unison. Finding new edible animals and plants can add points, and this applies to any competition. Chapter 100 Beautiful Female Captain. Since it was their first day aboard the warship, no one planned to go to the training room. Instead, they gathered together to chat, and after dinner, they went back to their rooms to rest. Lin Miaomiao had slept during the day and wasn't feeling sleepy at all. However, since she couldn't bring her Starfield capsule with her this time, she felt bored and could only fiddle with her communicator. Looking at Liu Kaoyer and Feng Licken, who were soundly asleep in their beds, Lin Miaomiao felt embarrassed to disturb them, so she decided to go to the training room to kill time. The Dawn had 5 floors. The first floor housed the ship's warehouse, the second contained the control center and the captain's quarters, the third floor housed the crew's living quarters and activity center, and the fourth floor housed Lin Miaomiao and her crew's quarters. The top floor also housed the training center, along with the quarters for the instructors and representatives from each fleet. The first and second floors were off-limits, restricted to members of the fleet. Lin Miaomiao, not being the most curious, didn't plan to sneak in and headed straight for the training room on the 5th floor. After Lin Miaomiao entered the physical training room, she found that the training room was not deserted at this time. There were many members of the fleet who were training. She was suddenly in a dilemma. They were all members of the fleet. Wouldn't it be inappropriate for her to go in and arrange flowers? Just when she was hesitating whether to turn around and go back to the room, a middle-aged man called out loudly, "Little girl, you are here to exercise. How did you get in?" Someone laughed and said, "Old Jin, lower your voice. The little girl is embarrassed to come in. Don't let your loud voice scare her away." Old Jin's eyes widened. "Bullshit. I've lowered my voice." "Okay, shut up. If you keep making noise like this, no one will dare to come in." A beautiful woman on the treadmill scolded impatiently, but turned around and smiled at Lin Miaomiao. "Little girl, come in quickly. They are a little noisy, but they are not bad people." It was hard to refuse the kindness, so Lin Miaomiao had to go into the training room obediently. The beautiful woman got off the treadmill, wiped the sweat off her face with a towel around her neck, and asked Lin Miaomiao, "What's your name, little girl? You came here to train on your first day on the ship. You're quite diligent." Lin Miaomiao was embarrassed. Could she say that she slept a lot during the day and came here because she was bored? Of course not, so she answered in a low voice, "My name is Lin Miaomiao. May I ask what your name is, sister?" Before the beautiful woman could answer, Lao Jin laughed and said, "Of course, boss. You are so old, and there are still people calling you sister." The beautiful woman was embarrassed and angry. "Jin Dashi, you are itching for trouble again." Lao Jin, also known as Jin Dashi, stopped laughing immediately after hearing this, and said to the beautiful woman in a flattering way, "Boss, I was wrong. You know I just said what I meant. Just ignore what I said just now, you are sensible." The beautiful woman snorted coldly, and no longer paid attention to him. She only answered Lin Miaomiao's question, "I am Yu Chu, you can call me Aunt Yu." Lin Miaomiao widened her eyes in surprise. She remembered that Yu Zixin had just said that he had an aunt who was the captain of the Dawn battleship. Her name was Yu Chu, and Kair was clamoring for Yu Zixin to introduce her to her. After all, there are really few women who can become captains. Yu Chu saw the shock in Lin Miaomiao's eyes, and asked curiously, "What's wrong with my name?" "No," Lin Miaomiao said weakly, "I just heard that the captain of Chengxi is called Yu Chu." Yu Chu laughed. The Chengxi fleet was formed by the Maryland 1st Military Academy itself. The team members are all graduates of the school. It is not normal to know the captain's name. There is no need to be so surprised, Lin Miaomiao defended. "I'm not surprised by your name, but I met the captain on the first day. I think I'm lucky." "Is that so?" Yu Chu nodded. "That means we are destined to be together." "Little girl, don't you want to train? Go quickly. Go back and rest early after training. The training room closes at 11 o'clock. Yu Chu left after he finished speaking. Lin Miaomiao didn't care. As a captain, it was good enough for him to pay attention to a little girl like her. How could he have the time to chat with her for more? Lin Miaomiao stayed in the training room until 10 o'clock, then prepared to return to her room. During that time, she got to know the other fleet members there, especially the loud but enthusiastic Jin Dashi. From him, she heard many interesting stories about the fleet. After leaving the training room, Lin Miaomiao went downstairs to her room and ran into Yu Hongwen. She was curious. After all, there wasn't much else to do on the warship besides the training room, so it seemed strange that he'd be here so late. Lin Miaomiao rolled her eyes and took the initiative to greet him. "Teacher Yu," Yu Hongwen asked calmly. "Just came out of the training room." Lin Miaomiao nodded. Yu Hongwen frowned. "You should get some rest these few days. Don't overwork yourself. You probably won't be able to rest well during the trials, and cramming before the competition won't make much progress." "No," Lin Miaomiao explained hurriedly. "I slept enough during the day. They all went to sleep after dinner, so I came to the training room because I was bored." "Oh, so you can sleep now?" Yu Hongwen asked. Lin Miaomiao shook her head sheepishly. She'd slept from 10 in the morning until a little after 4 in the afternoon, and it was only 10 o'clock now, so how could she possibly sleep? Yu Hongwen lowered his eyes slightly, then pulled out a black box about the size of Lin Miaomiao's palms from his space button and handed it to her. "Take it and play with it. Don't train for the next few days." Lin Miaomiao had seen this thing at the twins before. It was said to be a virtual game connector, containing many popular virtual online games. Although Lin Miaomiao was curious, she had been too busy with tutoring for the past 2 years to check it out. The virtual game connector wasn't expensive, so Lin Miaomiao accepted it without hesitation. After all, she'd already accepted a space button from Yu Hongwen, so she didn't mind accepting more. Holding the connector, Lin Miaomiao didn't rush back to her room. Curiously, she inquired, "Is teacher Yu playing games too?" Yu Hongwen shook his head. "Those are things only kids like." Lin Miaomiao glared. She's almost graduating from college. How can she act like a child?" As if understanding Lin Miaomiao's indignation, Yu Hongwen raised the corner of his mouth slightly. "Although you are about to graduate from college, you are only 18 years old." Lin Miaomiao was depressed. The Lin family has always had a tradition of skipping grades. The original owner skipped grades, and the twins did the same. As a result, she graduated from college at the age of 18. What's more, the average life expectancy is now around 200 years old. Even though she is an adult at the age of 18, she is still treated as a child. "I'm going to bed," Lin Miaomiao said listlessly. "Goodbye, Teacher Yi, go ahead," Yu Hongwen said, stepping aside to make way. Lin Miaomiao didn't care about the idea of respecting teachers and that students should give way to teachers first. She held the virtual network connector and went downstairs. Yi Hongwen stood there and watched her go downstairs. After disappearing at the corner building, he walked back to his room. End of this chapter. Thank you so much for reading until the end. Don't forget to give it a like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription or donation encourages us to continue. Thank you all. See you in the next video.